Back live at Wrigley Field for Cubs and Brewers baseball. Let's take a look at the Milwaukee starting lineup. The Brewers come in at 12-21 on the year. James Mouton leads it off in left. Mark Loretta bats second at short. Jeremy Burnitz with 4 homers in the last 3 games, 3 in the first 2 games of this series, hits third. Former Cub Jose Hernandez gets his second start in the cleanup position for the Brew Crew. Kevin Barker with a 4-game hit streak is at first. Marquise Grissom, Ron Belliard, Tyler Houston, another former Cub behind the plate, and Jason Bure pitches and bats ninth against this Cub pitcher, Kevin Tapani, who makes start number 8 on the year.
And Chip, he gets it and throws it. Last time out against the Pirates, threw the ball well, 7 innings, 4 runs, kept the ball down, and changed speeds. When you look at his chart here, 65% fastballs, 13% changeups. That's a big pitch for Kevin Tapani today.
Kevin's pitched in both leagues, as you know, and has struggled against the Brewers. First pitch swinging, Mouton cranks that ball toward right center, and with the wind blowing in and across, Buford was able to track it down and hung up. And there is out number 1. A quick peek at the Cubs team defensively. The Cubs GM defense with Hill in left with a right-hander on the mound. Henry Rodriguez still hurting after a foul ball off his toe last night. Buford and Sosa joins Willie Green, Ricky Gutierrez, Eric Young, Mark Grace, and a battery of Tapani and Reed. 1 away in the top of the first for Mark Loretta. Loretta 1 out of 8 in the series, hitting .274 on the campaign. He has played a flawless series defensively and nearly a flawless year defensively. Just 1 error for the Milwaukee Ball Club in their first 33 games. Tapani paints the corner, 1 ball, 1 strike. Umpiring crew this afternoon: Steve Ripley at first, Tim Sheeta is at first base, Chuck Merriweather at second, Greg Gibson at third. For this 3rd game of the 4-game series, Scott Downs and Steve Woodard go tomorrow. Then the Cubs head to Montreal. Three balls and a strike to Loretta. What an impressive pitching performance last night for Milwaukee right-hander Jeff D'Amico. 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 unearned runs, and he wins for the first time since September of '97. Another chance for Buford, and that's the alley where balls will go to die this afternoon. 2 up, 2 down. And Jeremy Burnitz. We have been able to find this guy's happy zone a lot.
Certainly have. And this pitch in yesterday's ball game, the ball was up in the zone. You can't throw it there. If you're going to go up in the zone, you got to go a little higher up, because he does have a little bit of an upswing. And as we take a look at his hot zone, boy, you really got to move the ball around on Mr. Burnitz. Right down central, 404. And what's strange, down and in is normally, for a left-handed hitter, that's a hot zone normally for left-handed hitters. But with his particular swing, he likes the ball out over the plate,
where he can extend those big arms and rip away. Burnitz with 9 home runs on the year. Remember, he had a stretch of 25 straight games without leaving the ballpark. Well, he's hit home runs now in 3 consecutive games for the Brewers, and he's ahead 3 balls and a strike here. This guy is a deadly, deadly hitter. Over the outside corner.
Pretty good pitch, 3-1. Backdoor slider. Started out outside the strike zone, brings it back over.
And he's down on strikes, went fishing, and flips the bat away disgustedly as the Brewers are retired in order in the top of the first. Here come the Cubs. Eric Young will try to get the engine started here in the bottom of the first inning.
MLB at Home is presented by Scotts, who knows that some of the best games are played in the backyard. Scotts, grow more good.
Kevin Tapani retired the Brewers in order in the top of the first, and now here's a look At the Cubs batting order, as presented by skipper Don Baylor, Eric Young, Ricky Gutierrez, and Sammy Sosa, the top three. Mark Grace drops from third to fourth in the batting order. Glenn Allen Hill gets the start against the right-hander with Henry Rodriguez's injury problems. Willie Green, Jeff Reed, Damon Buford, and Kevin Tapani round out the starting nine against Milwaukee right-hander Jason Beret.
And Jason Beret has made the long road back, similar to Jeff D'Amico, with some arm problems, particularly his elbow. He's a different type pitcher now, Chip, where he doesn't have that good gas upstairs. He's more of a pitcher now.
And he sinks the fastball low to Eric Young for ball one. EY had a busy day yesterday. Was one of the stars on the Oprah Winfrey Show. High fly cranked toward right, but it's playable for Burnitz. One down.
When we look at the Brewers defensively, only change from last night's game, Tyler Houston behind the plate and Barker over at first base. Loretta, who is defensively, nails Hernandez over at third base. Belliard at second. Burnitz out in right field with a cannon. Grissom in center, and James Mouton out in left field.
One up, one down for Ricky Gutierrez, who carries another hit streak into the game. This one a four-gamer. He's hitting a cool .336 with 5 home runs and 19 batted in. He has been a wonderful addition to this ball club. Ray paints the inside edge and evens the count. Ricky had a grand total of 25 RBIs last season. He's 6 away from equaling that total, and we're not even into the middle of May.
He has swung the bat better compared to him a couple of years ago when I faced him. He's opened up his stance a little bit, working with Jeff Pentland. When you open up, you really see the ball much better.
Well, it worked wonders for Andres Galarraga. You'll remember Don Baylor was the hitting coach in St. Louis when the Cardinals had the big cat. He suggested that he do what Gutierrez has done, and well, the rest is history as far as Galarraga is concerned. He almost got hit. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And not only did Don Baylor work with him, Andres Galarraga, physically, mechanically, but also worked with him in his head, got Andres' confidence back.
3-2, base is empty, and it's ball 4. Gutierrez walks for the 15th time this year. And now the table set for Sosa and for Mark Grace. Also, something else about Ricky. When he was playing in Houston, he was hitting way down in the batting order. He didn't hit up there with the killer bees. He was hitting in the 7th or 8th spot. And by the time he came up, many of the RBI chances were already gone. He was there for his glove. You don't want to say his glove only, but they did not expect him to carry the load offensively because they had plenty of guys who could do that for them. But here he's done a little more, actually a lot more than anyone expected.
Well, I think it's really helped Ricky to hit out of that 2 slot because he's hitting behind runners. He's driving the ball to right field. When you're down in the order, you know, sometimes you got the pitcher. If you're in the 8-hole, pitcher hitting behind you, you're not going to see good pitches. He's going to see good pitches, especially with Sosa or Gracie hitting behind him.
No balls and a strike. Swung, line drive, base hit left field. Boy, he is right on the baseball. He is hitting rockets all over the place. 14 hits in 6+ games for Sosa now. 2 are on, 1 is out.
Well, he's seeing the ball great. Stays back on an off-speed pitch. And anything in or half right now, Sammy Sosa is driving a bullet to left field.
So here's an opportunity for Mark Grace to pad his RBI total. He's driven in 20 men this year, but only 4 men on this homestand. And certainly those totals are not up to the standards that Mark Grace sets for himself. And when you talked with Don Baylor about Mark Grace at the start of this season, he projected this man being a 100 RBI man. And the opportunities have been there with Young and Gutierrez at the top of the order, and Gracie would be the first to tell you he hasn't driven in as many as he would like. A snap throw, and wow, what a saving play by Loretta at second base. Tyler Houston uncorks a wild throw, and Loretta saved embarrassment.
And you see the difference in arms. Tyler Houston does not have quite the same arm as Henry Blanco. Ricky Gutierrez getting caught a little bit no man's land with that big secondary lead.
1 ball, 1 strike. Little looping line drive into left field. Will drop for a hit. Mouton up. Double hops. The throw toward the plate is in time. He took an extra step, and the throw in time, and the tag applied by Tyler Houston for out number 2. Sosa stops at second, Grace to first.
And Mouton came out of the chute here with a perfect strike. 1 hopper. And Tyler Houston did a good job of blocking this ball, finding the ears. And it took a perfect throw to get Ricky Gutierrez. Good slide by Ricky, tried to go to the left side, but Houston bounced around.
Ricky didn't look like he was running all that quickly down the line, and he was out by an eyelash at the plate. So for the 2nd straight game, we have a man gunned out at home, and Glenn Allen Hill will try to keep the inning alive. 1st and 2nd, 2 outs now in our 1st inning. Hill carries a 4-game hit streak into the ball game. Came on yesterday when Henry Rodriguez fouled a ball off his back foot. The same type of injury suffered by Matt Williams of Arizona, although no fracture was detected for Henry. The toe's still sore enough to keep him out of the game today. The 0-1. And it's even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Big baseball news from the American League today. Texas Rangers left-hander Justin Thompson has a torn rotator cuff. He is being examined by Dr. James Andrews in Birmingham, Alabama today. Surgery is a possibility. And if that is the case, Thompson would be out 6 months to a year.
Well, it's amazing the amount of arm injuries, especially pitchers throwing that fork ball. Fork ball really takes a tear on your elbow. Justin Thompson's got a great breaking ball. It's a shame to see somebody like that who's got great stuff go down.
And it's even more sad because Thompson underwent surgery last August to repair tears in the labrum of the shoulder, and he smoothed out some fraying in the rotator cuff tissue nearly a year ago. So apparently he may have to undergo another arm procedure, and that's a terrible break for him. The 2-2 pitch, and Hill stays alive. The Cubs at 13-22 on the year. A 4-7 homestand. 3 with Montreal coming up over the weekend. The stretch now in the 2-2. Time is called. And I like what Parade did just there. Even though the umpire popped away from home plate, he followed through and delivered the baseball. Cardinals with a 3-game lead in our division. The Cubs and Brewers battling it out for the basement. But the Cubs percentage points ahead of Milwaukee at the moment. Only 2 teams above 500 in the Central, and despite being 9 under, the Cubs are only 8 games out. The 2-2 to Hill. Struck him out with a high fastball, and the inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We had a man thrown out at the plate in the first. After 1, it's scoreless at Wrigley Field. Well, friends, Wednesday, June 7th is your chance to receive a special limited edition Ernie Banks Cherished Teddy's figurine by Enesco. The first 10,000 ladies aged 14 and over attending the Cubs Diamondbacks game get an Ernie Banks Cherished Teddy's figurine by Enesco, compliments of MBNA America. Scoreless game after 1. Chip Carey, Dave Otto with you from the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. And our old pal Jose Hernandez leads things off. Milwaukee's looking for a cleanup hitter. Frankly, looking for a leadoff hitter too. And Hernandez today gets his second start in the number 4 hole for Davey Lopes. Played there last night and went 0 for 4, but scored a run. And that has been the problem for Jose, not just in Milwaukee, but throughout his big league career. He will have trouble hitting the breaking stuff.
And the Cubs did a good job in last night's game to throw him that breaking ball ahead in the count in the dirt.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And there he goes, chasing that ball in the dirt. Reed will flip to first in time. And Hernandez is struck out for the 28th time this season. One away in the Milwaukee second. And another look at the Hernandez flail and miss.
Well, we talked about Jose Hernandez. Doesn't have a lot of patience at the plate. So you do take a shot at 2-2 with the pitch out of the zone. Veteran pitcher like Kevin Tapani buries that breaking ball and gets Jose to strike out.
So 4 up, 4 down for Kevin Tapani. And here's a pretty good looking player, Kevin Barker. 268 with a couple of home runs. He's starting to get hot, a 4-game hit streak for him. But again, Milwaukee in the rebuilding mode. Gone is Nilsson. Gone is Vigna. Gone is practically half their pitching staff because of injury. And gone is Jeff Cirillo. Not a real powerful ball club with the exception of Jeremy Burnitz.
Burnitz has got some pop, and Milwaukee's really counting on Kevin Barker to pick up the pace a little bit, swing the bat, get some bombs.
But he's a young guy. It's a little tough to expect a man to come in what will be his rookie season and hit 25, 30 home runs, which is what a power guy has to hit to be called a power hitter anymore.
No question about it. I'm sure Davey Lopes would rather have someone besides Jose Hernandez in that 4 slot.
3 balls and a strike. Well, it'll be interesting to see too, Dave, what happens to this Milwaukee organization at the end of this season. They have a new general manager in Dean Taylor, who was John Schuerholz's assistant in Kansas City and Atlanta. A high pop up down the left field line. That's twisting toward our bullpen, and it drops just foul. Dave Wilder, who was Ed Lynch's assistant, now working up in Milwaukee as well. They have Davey Lopes, a terrific baseball man, running the ball club. And most importantly of all for that franchise and for the fans in Wisconsin, they'll get their new ballpark and all the revenues that will provide.
Well, they're going to get the revenue from the new ballpark, but also you have to build from within. And you got to build a strong farm system. You know, we've seen that teams like Montreal, who keeps, I mean, it is really a farm system for superstars in Montreal.
Sharply hit ball to third. Willie Green, backhanded stab. Good play. 2 men down. Boy, did you see the grass slow that ball down? It was a rocket toward third.
Boy, and Kevin Tapani, you got to love it, keeping the ball down on the ground. Willie Green did a good job. Good read on this particular play. Couldn't get in front of it. And makes the nice backhand stab and throws a bullet to Gracie.
So 2 up, 2 down. And here's Marquise Grissom. Grissom at 231 with 6 runs driven in. And Grissom has hit Tapani very hard. 4 for 8 with a couple of home runs. Fouled straight back, and as we told you, David Wilder, Vice President of Player Personnel for the Brewers, accompanying the team south from Milwaukee, is here. There he is. The always Natalie attire, Dave Wilder.
And he was traded for Dennis Eckersley back in 1987. I'll never forget that. I was a former teammate of David Wilder's in Huntsville, Alabama.
And to his left, the gentleman on the telephone is his boss, the general manager, Dean Taylor, is here. Blowing away 3 balls and a strike. But clearly having that crane accident at the new ballpark was a crushing blow for the Brewers organization. They were hoping to be in their new yard this year, and we're hoping to be able to build a war chest a year early for a very rich free agent crop that's expected to be reaped at the end of this season.
And really, a lot
of money's still going to be there. They're still going to be able to dip into that free agent pool. But the goodwill that the new ballpark would have created would have made this rebuilding season much more tolerable.
No question about it. And there are some ball clubs out there that have done it the right way. One team comes to mind, the Cleveland Indians.
Ground ball to Gutierrez. And another easy inning for Tapani. 6 up, 6 down, through 2. We're scoreless. Willie Green set to go in the bottom half here at Wrigley. It's the finale of a 3-game set as Frank Thomas and the Southsiders battle Nomar Garciaparra and the Boston Red Sox. Coverage starts in the game room tonight. It's the White Sox and Red Sox today at 5:30 on Fox Sports Net. Willie Green sent to go for the Cubs in the second. He is 0 for his last 4, but is hitting a cool .333 with a home run and 5 driven in. Right through there, too, even the count.
And that's where Jason Bray is a little bit different of a pitcher now. Flips up a 1-0 changeup. He would fall behind in the count earlier in his career, and he challenged guys with that good hard fastball. Probably lost about 4 or 5 miles an hour off his fastball. Now he's turned into more of a pitcher instead of just a thrower.
Overthrew that one, and it almost went to the backstop. 3 balls and a strike. You notice Tyler Houston's wearing that catcher's mitt with the orange glow material surrounding the pocket. Do you like that as a pitcher? Did that help you see the target, or did it matter?
No, I loved that. Anything to just help you see that target, because really as a pitcher you just want to try and zero in on the glove, get rid of all external noise.
See, the outside of the glove is black, the palm is orange colored. And a throw to first. Green is retired for out number 1. Jeff Reed does the same thing. So 1 up, 1 down here in the second. Fine assistant media relations director of the Cubs, Chuck Wasserstrom, wants to send along happy first birthday greetings to his niece, Caitlin Cohen. Caitlin and her family are watching the ball game today. So happy first to young Caitlin. Speak of the devil, here's Jeff Reed. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. Joliet Jeff hitless in his last 11 trips to the plate. Nothing game in the second inning. And Beret quickly ahead. 0-2.
And when you're struggling a little bit, you miss a pitch like that. Jason Bray threw a pitch right down central, and Reeder could not get the head out.
Beret, a 36th round pick by the White Sox 10 years ago, but has had all kinds of arm problems. Right biceps tendonitis, right elbow tendonitis, exploratory right elbow surgery, then regular elbow surgery. White Sox release him in '98. The Reds let him go. Then signed by Milwaukee in '99 and had one more stint on the DL with inflammation in the right elbow.
And I don't know whether we can see it, but when guys have elbow problems, sometimes they try and build up their forearms too much to the extent of where you get really tight in that forearm. His right forearm looks like Popeye's.
High fly into center, pretty deep. But Grissom gallops back, flips the shades down effortlessly, and there's out number 2. Why would one do that?
Well, you do a lot of exercises coming back from elbow surgery to build it up, but at the same time, if you get strong there, you also got to stay loose, because if you don't stay loose with it, boy, you don't get the same pop. You got to be loosey-goosey out there, and I think that was part of the problem with Beret with the White Sox. He got too tight, and he didn't have that good snap on his fastball.
2 up, 2 down for Damon Buford. He looks at a strike. Buford hitting a robust .302 in the last couple of weeks. Overall on the season at .236, and has played a very good center field for the Cubs. And he's quickly in an 0-2 hole.
And that's a pitch that Damon Buford has got to start laying off. A pitch out of the zone. Instead, he's hitting 0-2 instead of 1-1.
The 0-2 popped up out of play. The other disturbing trend for Damon is for a guy with pretty good speed and not a whole lot of power. He strikes out a lot.
Right.
I think the Cubs would be a lot happier with his bat if he could make a little more contact.
Well, I think he's making the adjustment as far as he's got a lot of movement in his swing. And he's cutting it down a little bit, trying to get on top. But as long as he swings at those pitches upstairs, he's going to have problems.
He has credit to Jeff Pentland with a big assist and helping him hit more home runs. He's hit more home runs, in fact, than Glenn Allen Hill and Eric Young, and as many as Ricky Gutierrez and Mark Grace. And there's the fine hitting coach of the Cubs. We have a great 1-2 tandem with Pentland and Don Baylor tutoring those batsmen. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs, bases empty in the Cubs second. Glad you're with us here on Fox Sports Net Chicago. It's turned into a delightful day for baseball. Payoff pitch. Swing and a foul tip into the catcher's glove. There is the strikeout pitch, and it's a 1-2-3 second. Bure is sharp. Tapani is perfect through 2. He'll test the lower third of the Milwaukee order in the third.
This Bud's for the Blues, the Reds, and the Warriors. This Bud's for the Giants, the Jazz, and the Magic. This Bud's for the home team.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field. What's a special day at Wrigley Field? There's a lot of things for kids today, face painting, and of course, Tricky the Clown was brought in by the Cubs. He's not Bozo. Tricky, I heard you're a big baseball guy.
I love baseball. I do. In fact, I brought out a baseball bat here for the long ball. Can I show it to you?
Let's see the bat.
Can't wait. This is for the long ball, everybody. My new baseball bat. Look at that thing. You can hit him a mile with this thing. Are you ready? Pitch it right here.
Chip, Dave, it's always fun when you got a clown in the stands. Back up to you guys.
Or behind a microphone, right, Eric? Scoreless game after 2. Yeah, I'll bet that guy can hit the outside pitch pretty well with that piece of lumber or whatever it is. A ground ball by Belliard. Big high hop for Ewai at second. And there's out number 1 here in the third. 7 up, 7 down for Kevin Tapani. And again, if Kevin gets out of the first inning, chances are he'll have a decent shot at a very good ball game. He's given up 8 first inning runs this year, none through the first 2 innings of today's game.
But once he gets the good feel of pitching with that good snap off his fastball and working in a couple changeup. Changeup is critical against the lefties like Houston.
Tyler ropes it right back up the middle. So a 1-out single, the first of the game for the Indians. And Houston signed as a free agent after not being re-signed by Cleveland. Here's the first Brewer base runner.
Wow, pitch out over the plate. Tyler was looking away. Almost took Tapani's head off. That's scary.
Yeah, Tyler was traded to the Indians for Richard Negretti at the trade deadline last year and was a big insurance policy down the stretch for the Tribe, but appeared in only 13 games. So here's Bure, and don't think it's an automatic bunt situation with this guy. He is a very good hitter. A lifetime .234 Major League batsman. This year, 4 out of 11. A .364 average with an RBI. The Cubs, though, thinking he's going to bunt. And he takes it for strike 2.
And both Mark Grace and Willie Green busting in. Now with 2 strikes, Bure might still bunt, and Willie Green is in on the grass.
Swinging that time, and it pops the face mask off of Jeff Reed.
Boy, he rung his bell right there. Just a fastball up. Jason Bure trying to get on top. Man. you can have that position, Chip.
Yeah, it's quickest way to the major leagues, but you may not stay long because you really get abused back there. Third strikeout for Tapani, 1 on, 2 men out. Sunday, May 21st is your chance to receive a special limited edition Hasbro Chicago Cubs Mr. Potato Head. The first 10,000 kids aged 13 and under attending the Cubs Reds game get a Hasbro Cubs Mr. Potato Head compliments of the Museum of Science and Industry. Did you have a Mr. Potato Head when you were a kid, Dave?
Absolutely. And Mrs. Potato Head.
You had Mrs. Potato Head too, huh? Here's Mouton. He flying to center his first time up. Right through there, 1-1. Well, the Brewers were feeling lucky last night. Their traveling crew purchased 800 lottery tickets, hoping to win that $350 million jackpot last night. And since they're all here, obviously nobody won. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And our producer Bob Albright tells us that Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, was in town, and even she bought a ticket. Well, she's got those royal bills to pay. I can understand her taking a chance. She was up in our booth a couple years ago. Real nice lady. Never forget, Ron Santo over in the radio booth was scarfing down an ice cream bar and offered her a Cronkite bar with chocolate shavings dribbling down his chin. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch, swing and a miss, and that retires the side. Kevin Tapani has struck out 4. He's got a 1-hit shutout through 3, and he'll lead things off for the Cubs when we come right back. Matt Vasgersian, the fine host of that program, also the young television broadcaster for the Brewers, is not with us today, obviously recuperating from that grueling schedule. A high fly ball by Tapani, belted deep toward left. At the track, at the wall. The catch is made by Mouton, and Tapani just missed hitting his 2nd home run of the year.
Boy, Kevin Tapani leaned on a first pitch fastball right down the middle from Jason Beret. And put a marker on this because this is Kevin Tapani's best bolt. Drives it to left center. Kevin Tapani's got a dinger this year. He's got a little pop. Needs to eat another biscuit to get that one out.
So no such luck for Tapani here in the 3rd for Eric Young. He's striding to the plate. He fly to right his first time up. Young just 1 for 8 in the series, but that doesn't tell at all the story of how well he has played for this Cub team this year. He's got 16 hits and 49 trips to the plate on the homestand, 16 multi-hit games, an on-base percentage of .380 out of the leadoff spot. And there you see it, the National League hits leader with 49 base hits. 2 balls and a strike. Line toward right. Burnett's broke in, now nearing the line, puts that away, a sinking line drive. And Burnett's retires Young for the 2nd time today. Cubs had the first only chance to score in this game. A base hit by Mark Grace with 2 on and 1 out. And the Cubs tried to score Ricky Gutierrez, but he was gunned down by Mouton, who applied a whole lot of heat to the baseball, and a quick hop to Tyler Houston, who made the catch and applied the tag. What a difference this ballpark makes when Mother Nature decides to blow the wind in. off the leg.
Chip, it's the best ballpark to pitch in with that wind blowing in, because not only do you have the wind, but you've got a super slow infield.
We were talking about that at lunch inside with Ed Lynch. Bob Uecker, the longtime voice of the Brewers, about that. Maybe trying to standardize some of the grounds conditions in Major League ballparks. You know, with all this offense that we're seeing in the game of baseball, a lot of fields have very short grass and very short fences. Well, here, only the latter is true. Scalded past Billy Williams, out of play.
Chip, no question about it. When you've got a field like Enron Field and the ball flies out of there, you've got to do something to help the pitchers out, whether it's raise the mound a little bit or really soften up not only the infield area, the grass, but also right in front of home plate.
Off his thumbs, out of play. Yeah, you get a lot of topspin bouncers that take huge high hops that bound all the way into the outfield. We've already talked ad nauseum about the lively baseball, but Ed Lynch had said that finally the owners are starting to listen to what some of these ad hoc committee members have been preaching, and that is do something to help keep the pitcher from becoming extinct. And everybody seems to believe that raising the mound is going to be the quickest and easiest solution to bringing that about. There are a lot of people who feel that changing the strike zone or having the strike zone called by the rule book is simply a pipe dream, that's never going to happen, especially when you have guys calling games in their 20th or 30th year. They're not going to change their zone overnight. Loretta, good strong throw, retires Gutierrez, and the side is retired in the third. We'll elaborate on that situation and more when we come back for the fourth inning. It's a good ball game and scoreless.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
As we go to the fourth inning on this date in Cub history, in 1997, the Cubs turned their last triple play. It happened against the San Francisco Giants. Stan Javier faced Amari Telemaco with Kirk Reeder and Darrell Hamilton aboard. Javier hit a fly ball to short center. Bob Davidson called the infield fly rule. Both runners tried to advance, and the Cubs got them both. Loretta hits a high fly ball deep toward left and out of the ballpark. A solo home run for Loretta, his second of the year, and Milwaukee has a 1-0 lead. Light hitting Mark Loretta goes deep.
And that's about the only spot right now at Wrigley Field where the wind is going to help you down the left field line. Kevin Tapani tried to get up and in with Mark Loretta. Mark Loretta looking for something in, pulls his hands through and drives it out of the ballpark.
Well, folks, if you don't think the ball is doing something funny, look at Loretta's numbers. His major league high is 6. He's got 2. And again, we're about 20% of the way through the season.
I think there's no question that the ball is wound tight.
Burnitz is the batter. Well, just the fact that the commissioner's office has said that they are looking into this alarming total of home run balls that continues to add up in the game. I mean, at the start of today's play in the National League, there were 673 home runs hit. In the American League, another 580.
And that's with me being out of the league.
I mean, again, there's got to be an investigation if that's the case, but you're right. 1,250 home runs or so after roughly 33, 34 games. I mean, we are seeing a record offensive explosion. Ground ball to short off the bat of Burnitz. And look at the big man hustle down the line. We got him by an eyelash at first. There's out number 1. Let's revisit that flashback. That triple play back in '97.
A pop-up
And Dunstan's got to drift back. The wind carries the ball, and McCray can't handle it. No,
Infield fly rule. The Cubs
Infield
get
fly
the out
rule in
there.
effect.
He's out there.
And
he's
the
out
throw
there.
back
It's
to
gonna be
second.
a
A triple play. On a dropped fly ball. The Cubs were loving the infield fly rule back in 1997 because they had a whole lot of trouble catching anything on their own. That was a real bad year. So 1 in, 1 out for Jose Hernandez. He struck out his first time up there. And he looks at ball 2 low. So with that triple play in mind, we will have our Aflac trivia question for you here in just a second. 3 balls, no strikes. And there it is. When was the last time the Cubs turned a triple play here at Wrigley Field? We will have the answer in the bottom half of the frame. Hernandez just does stay alive.
I can't remember. Was it last year?
Could be.
I've never seen a live triple play, and I've never seen a 3-pitch inning.
Is that right? I've seen both, and I've seen an unassisted triple play. I saw John Valentin do it with the Boston Red Sox against Seattle. Runners first and second, hit and run, line drive to short, steps on the bag at second, throw to first, triple play, bang. 3-2. Jose goes down on strikes again. Well, you throw him a breaking ball, more often than not, he's going to swing over the top of it. 2 down.
Well, when he's not swinging well, he'll swing at the rosin bag if you throw it up there. And this is a breaking ball, 3-2. And good pitch by Tapani. Started off in the zone and just disappeared.
So 2 outs after the Loretta home run for first baseman Kevin Barker, and he takes downstairs. It's 2-0. Missed outside. 3 balls, no strikes. And on 4 straight, Barker is aboard. First Tapani walk of the game. And that brings Marquise Grissom to the platter. Grissom grounded out his first time up. 1-0. Milwaukee has the lead. The Cubs hoping they can win the last 2 on this homestand and salvage a 6-7 13-game record here. Ball 1. He's missed with 5 in a row, and Reed out to settle Tapani down.
And that's a good point for Reeder to come out. Kevin Tapani throwing 5 straight balls, really all over the place. And when you do that, it's just good to just get off that mound for a second and regroup the troops. Reeder right there, going out there just to give him a little bit of a rest. Because up to this point, Kevin Tapani's throwing the ball good. That good, easy fastball.
Took a little off that time. And it's 1-1. Runner goes, pitch low and away. The Reed throw is high, and it's a stolen base for Barker, his first of the year. So the Milwaukee Brewers, not at all a running team, only 9 steals on the campaign. Pulled out a surprise swipe here in the 4th.
And Kevin Tapani pretty quick to the plate, but at the same time, Barker got a great jump. Reeder came out of the chute, but with that kind of jump, easy stolen base.
For now, a base hit could score Barker and give the Brewers a 2-0 lead. Our pal Ron Santo wants to send along best wishes to his good friend Marty Katz, who is watching the game today. Ronnie's thinking of you, Marty. And we are too. Ground ball weakly hit toward third. Green makes the throw to first in time, and that retires the Brewers. A leadoff home run by Mark Loretta, only his second of the year, but it puts the Brew Crew in front 1-0.
Welcome back here at the press box at Wrigley Field, and we're here with a broadcasting luminary, one of the great ones, Bob Uecker, the Milwaukee Brewers radio team. And Bob, do you have a positive memory about Wrigley Field of your career?
Well, I've always loved this place. One of my best memories here is a home run I hit against Ferguson Jenkins, which after I hit it, I was really sorry. I thought to myself, geez, this might keep this guy out of the Hall of Fame, and so I've kind of denied it throughout the years. I mean, now that he's in there, I'll tell everybody I did hit one against him, but most of my good stories about Wrigley Field came after the game over at the Cottage, a place not far from here.
Bob, you've been doing this for years and years and years with the Brewers. How much longer are you going to stay behind the microphone?
Till they tell me I can't anymore. I enjoy myself. I enjoy doing this each and every day. I don't know what I would rather do than what I'm doing now, doing baseball. I love coming to Wrigley Field. I used to come here as a kid, and to be able to work baseball as a broadcaster here, played here and broadcast here, that's the ultimate. I really love this place. I really do.
Thanks, Bob.
You betcha.
That's the great guy, Bob Uecker. Back to you, Chip.
Okay, Eric, thanks a lot. And boy, you're right about Bob Uecker. 30 years behind the microphone with the Milwaukee Brewers, and you know his joke about keeping Ferguson Jenkins out of the Hall of Fame. I don't think the Hall of Fame is going to be able to keep Bob Uecker out of there much longer either. He's certainly worthy of the Ford Frick Award, and I'm sure it'll come his way in the not too distant future. One of the most hilarious personalities in our game, with that great self-deprecating sense of humor, and just a real unique personality and a fun guy to be around. Bob Uecker. Sammy Sosa leads things off for the Cubs. A rocket topspin liner for a base hit. His first time up. The 3-1. It's 3-2. One more note on Bob Uecker. Very funny guy. You know how he got his start in the comedy type business? A 1969 visit with Al Hirt, a renowned jazz trumpeter from New Orleans. Hirt had opened a small nightclub in Atlanta and asked Uecker to come up on stage. Don Rickles was the headliner. Uecker was so funny that Rickles himself was laughing hysterically. Hirt was so impressed he arranged an appearance for Uecker on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Uecker became one of Johnny's favorite guests, making 100 appearances with Johnny Carson before his retirement in 1992. Boy, you talk about taking advantage of your breaks and turning it into a Hall of Fame worthy career. Bob Uecker certainly has done that. Sosa built it. Forget about it.
Wow.
Game tied 1-1. Number 13 for Sammy. He hit one 470 feet the other day, and he's crushed Milwaukee once again. Home run number 349 in his big league career.
And Sammy leaning all over a 3-2 fastball by Jason Beret. Up in the zone, and right now Sammy is lightning quick in her half.
That was a no-doubter, folks. And here's Gracie. Grace denied an RBI, and a fine throw by James Mouton back in the Cubs first. So a home run by Loretta, a home run by Sosa. Now Grace skies that one down the left field line. Long run for Mouton. Can't get there. It's a foul ball. Terrific hustle by Greg Gibson, the third base umpire. He was down amongst that Brew Crew trio to make sure the ball was fielded cleanly, if at all.
Sammy getting his weight back right now, Chip, working with Jeff Pentland. And actually, that ball was on the outer half. Sammy Sosa showing great plate coverage and pretty good power.
Pretty good power, yeah.
Jeez.
That one only went probably about 440 feet.
Got it on the end.
So 13 home runs for Sosa, the National League home run lead. Grace sprays that ball deep toward left. Grissom on the run. Mouton on the wall. It's gone as well. Back-to-back home runs. And the wind tunnel now toward left field. Grace hits his 6th, and the Cubs have a 4th inning lead.
Well, in our pregame show, Mark Grace said he's going to hit a couple bombs today and got a pitch out over the plate. And he has had 2 good approaches against Jason Beret, taking the ball to left field.
So 6 home runs for Grace. And back-to-back bombs for the Cubs. And here's Glenn Allen Hill. Hill struck out swinging his first time up. Beret has given up now 8 home runs in 38 innings.
And that's where you don't quite have the same life on your fastball as Jason Beret once did. A fastball, not a lot of giddy up on it. And Grace was able to get the head out and get it up in that jet stream. Chip, the wind has shifted a little bit where a ball hit the left field is going to help.
The 1-1. That one hung upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. They were able to hang the standings flags in the National League before the game today. Boy, it would have been hazardous duty pay last night. The way the wind was howling in off the lake. 2-2. One other game in progress in baseball. It's taking place in Detroit, where Kansas City is beating the Tigers 6-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Tigers and Royals were rained out yesterday, and for Detroit, real bad news. They were leading that one 3-0, I think, when Mother Nature intervened, and the game was a total washout.
Detroit cannot catch any breaks right now.
Yeah, they're really struggling. A 2-2 swung and hit right on the button to Mouton in left, and there's out number 1. Beret's not fooling anybody the second time through the batting order. 2-1 Cubs lead for Willie Green. And you're right about those Tigers. Detroit 9-22, 4-8 at New Comerica Park. They're the only team in baseball with fewer than 10 wins. They were really expecting big things out of Juan Gonzalez this year, and he has done next to nothing for him.
It really hasn't. Hasn't swung the bat all year. And the Tigers were also counting on guys like Dave Malicki, who won 14 games for the Tigers last year, to do something. He's got great stuff, but up to this point in the year, he has not thrown well.
Green grounded out to second, as you saw, and looks at a ball high. They're underway now in Texas. A quick first inning. The Rangers leading Seattle 1-0. Texas in last place in the AL West, 4 games under 500, 4 behind the front-running Mariners. And as we told you earlier, Justin Thompson will face the prospect of rotator cuff surgery again. Willie Green belts that one deep to right and gone. Well, the wind may be blowing across toward left, But if you hit it under radar like Green did, you're going to get it out of here easily. His second home run is a Cub, and it's a 3-1 game.
And he did hit it under the radar. Driving the ball to right field. And that was just a line drive that cut through that strong wind. Man.
So Jeff Reed will dig in. He is 0 for his last 12, flying out to center today, and looks at strike one.
And Jason Beret falling behind in the count right now. Great hitters counts.
Inside corner 0-2. Yeah, you fall behind, especially with that lively baseball now, and serve up a meatball fastball, it's going to get hit.
Exactly. Right now, Jason Beret is struggling with his changeup. The Cubs are all over his fastball.
Off the thumbs, back to the screen. The other baseball later on tonight, the Phillies will visit Montreal, Cincinnati hosting the Padres. Mets are in Pittsburgh, Atlanta's in Florida, and the Giants will host St. Louis. The 0-2. Weak ground ball to the right side. Belliard will flip to first, and there's out number 2.
And Willie Green got a pitch down. And good plate coverage, outer half, and stayed back and just battled the wind with a bullet.
So Damon Buford hits with 2 outs. Bakes is clear. 3 solo home runs for the Cubs here in the 4th. Sosa, Grace, and Green. And it would be nice to get Damon aboard here and allow Kevin Tapani to bat for himself. Then we would have our leadoff hitter batting in the 5th.
Boy, flip that order over.
Whose pit crew is that? Is that for your car? 1-1. I know you're big time, but you gotta have that many guys helping you put the gas in the automobile. Get it? Automobile?
Yeah.
You're left-handed. I had to make sure you heard me. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Cubs have a 3-1 lead. We're in the home half of inning number 4. Dave Otto, Chip Carey. Another game tomorrow, then it's off to Montreal. Swing, and Buford misses. Eventually fouls it away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Steve Stone still on the disabled list. But we talked to Steve yesterday. He's feeling a whole lot better. He wanted me to express his thanks for all the fans who've been asking and thinking about him as he recuperates from his kidney stone operation late last week. He's hoping to be back with us when we come back from Canada. Ground ball to short, retires Buford and the Cubs, and that'll do it for us in the 4th. But Sammy Sosa and Mark Grace spreading a whole lot of love at the ballpark. Both of them hit solo home runs. Sammy does it with 2 fingers, Gracie with 1. How about that? 3-1 Cubs after 4.
MLB at Home is presented by Scotts, who knows that some of the best games are played in the backyard. Scotts, grow more good.
Here we go to the top half of inning number 5. The Brewers were leading 1-0. They trail it 3-1. And Kevin Tapani's pitched a real good ball game to this point. Only 1 mistake. That the home run to Mark Loretta. And he hit it out of the yard into left. 1 ball, 1 strike to Belliard. Belliard really impressed the Milwaukee management. The play of this guy allowed them to trade Fernando Vina, who's a perennial all-star at second base. Now, having said that, Dave, it sure is nice for Milwaukee to be able to say, well, if we have a guy that we think can be as effective as Vina and at $3 million a year less expensive, That's a nice break for the Brew Crew.
And that's what small market clubs have to do. You have a young guy like Belliard who has a couple things to learn over at second base. We saw him not help out Kevin Barker on a pop fly the other night. So that will come with experience.
But he can sure hit. He's hit safely now in 10 of his last 15 ball games. And he's aboard leading off our 5th inning. Time for our Heineken game summary. Solo home runs, 4 of them. Loretta, Sosa, Grace, and Green. Sosa and Grace went back-to-back for the Cubs. Jason Barea has pitched all right. Kevin Tapani has pitched real well. But the tying run comes to the plate now in catcher Tyler Houston. Houston, a rope up the middle for a 1-out hit. His first time up. Tyler always felt that he never really had a chance to show what he could do while he was with the Cubs. He wanted to be an everyday player here. But in all honesty, his bat never really provided Jim Riggleman enough power, enough consistency to keep him in the lineup every day.
And that's where a player has to make an adjustment during the course of your career. You may turn in to a backup player, but you're going to have to live with not getting the consistent at bats. And I really think a guy like Glenn Allen Hill has made that adjustment. I played with Glenn Allen Hill earlier in his career, and he couldn't handle not playing every day. But now he's matured as a player, and now he's learned to deal with it, and he's swinging the bat good.
1-0. And him off the front foot. 1 ball, 1 strike. That is a huge adjustment because most of the players, quite obviously, who make it to the big leagues were the stars of their A, AA, or AAA teams playing every day and contributing every day. When you get up here, though, until you've proven yourself, you're just another guy.
A number.
That's a real tough adjustment for a lot of players to make. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's why the scouting process is so difficult too. You'll look at a guy in A ball and see the numbers that he puts up and think, wow, we can plug this guy into our starting rotation, or he'll be our second baseman 6 years from now or 4 years from now, whatever the case may be. And the jump from A ball to AA is going to weed out a huge number of your potential prospects.
You know, I think
you've got 2 more steps to make after that.
Absolutely. That is probably the second biggest jump when you go from A ball to AA, because in organizations you have 2 or 3 A ball teams and you're funneling 70 guys into one team in AA. And then the biggest jump obviously is from AAA to the large league. That's a big jump.
And as hard as it is to get to the major leagues now, it's considerably easier than it used to be. 20, 30, 40 years ago, teams would sometimes have 15, 20 different minor league teams. You could be playing Class D ball and still be considered a prospect. As Houston goes down on strikes, that's 6 for Tapani.
And really, part of it now is with the new rules, you can become a free agent after 6 years in the minor leagues, and that has really helped a lot of ball players. As you said 20 years ago, if you were in AAA on a great ball club, you might get buried.
Now, how'd you like to be in the Dodgers system or the Yankees system? You'd never get to the big leagues and play. You'd have to hope that someone would trade you, and again, there wasn't free agency, so you had to just suck it up and play and hope that something happened to give you a chance to play in the major leagues. Barea, strikeout victim, his first time up. And Tapani having a monster game today. He's struck out 6 men for the 3rd consecutive start. And during that span, he's walked only 4 men, so he's starting to dial it in a bit.
He really is. He's got good, easy fastball. Kevin Tapani, when he's throwing the ball good, he keeps everything simple. And that's what I like about his delivery. Not too many things get out of whack in his delivery. Keep it simple.
His career high 4 strikeouts is 10 That was 8 years ago. Low and away. Ball 2 to Jason Beret. Seattle has tied Texas 1-1. Aaron Seeley, the former Ranger, against Darren Oliver. And that's right through there, 2-2. Good live fastball.
And that was one of the things that I thought Kevin Tapani early on in the year wasn't crisp with that fastball. Now it's jumping out of his hand.
Strike 3 call over the outside corner. Beret knew it, and as the pitcher, he's not going to argue if he didn't like the call. And that's 7-4 Kevin Tapani. And a peek at our Aflac trivia question and answer. When was the last time the Cubs turned a triple play at Wrigley Field? 1983. Ron Say to Ryan Sandberg to Bill Buckner, and Rick Rhoden was the Pirate pitcher and hitter that day. Roll around the horn. Triple killing. So to the top of the order we go now, and James Mouton. Unbelievably, only 14 triple plays turned by the Cubs. I believe is the stat they gave us before the game today. 1-0. Foul tipped off. Reed evens the count at 1-1. And if you're only now just joining us, solo home runs by Loretta, by Sosa, by Grace, and by Willie Green. Kevin Tapani has struck out 7 men. He scattered just 3 Brewer hits. 1-2.
And we talked about it in last night's telecast. James Mouton is really off the plate, and I still don't think if you can dot that outside corner against Mouton, he's got no chance.
Now watch that left foot. It creeps out toward the edge of that right-hand batter's box. I mean, his left heel is as close as it can be before it's out of the batter's box. The 1-2 popped up toward us. And we'll do it again.
And for a big guy, you might be able to get the plate coverage if you're standing that far off the plate. But James Mouton is not big, doesn't have the long arms, so it's difficult to get to that outside corner.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The stretch now and the pitch. Little looping pop up behind first. Grace nearing the stands, reaches up, puts it away, and Mouton pops out, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Kevin Tapani will lead things off for the Cubs. With the crafty left-hander Dave Otto, Chip Carey back at the ballpark, 3-1 in favor of the Cubs. Very nice day for baseball. A little chilly, but the wind blowing toward left, and the Cubs are taking advantage of that, cracking 3 solo home runs. Kevin Tapani flirted with one of those himself, his one and only time up, and this time he takes a strike from Jason Beret. It's 0-2. That ball bounced on a big hop to Belliard. 1 down in the Cub 5th.
And that is a jam sandwich. Jason Beret got all in Kevin Tapani's kitchen, inside. And Tapani, the first time up, drove the ball to left central. but this time in on his thumbs.
Yeah, if you're not careful, you'll get thrown out of the pitchers union for throwing something like that at the opposing moundsman. So Young stands in. He's 0 for 2. Has flied to right twice. The National League hit leader with 49 on the campaign is Eric Young. Milwaukee trying to do something they've done only once all year. That is win games consecutively. They had a 2-game winning streak April 4th and 5th. That's it. And that's during a stretch when they started the year pretty well, 6-5. Since then, however, they're 6-16. And Davey Lopes, like every other manager in baseball, trying to find more pitching. Ground ball again towards second. Easy play, Belliard. Young is 0 for 3. 2 up, 2 down now for the shortstop, Ricky Gutierrez. A chance for Belliard to tie a record held by many, that is record 3 assists in a single inning. Ricky walked, was thrown out at the plate in the first, and also grounded out to the shortstop, Mark Loretta. Good cut and strike 1. Cardinals got 2 in the first in San Francisco. Well, that team is scary how devastating they can be offensively.
Especially with Jim Edmonds.
Yeah, he's a guy that really helped make that team a left-handed bat. Andy Bennis pitching for St. Louis. Edmonds and Eric Davis have the RBIs for the Cardinals. And there's a strike 3 called to Gutierrez. 3 up, 3 down for Beret in the 5th. He has struck out 3 and he trails by 2. Well, Cub fans, plenty of good seats are still available for games throughout the 2000 season. For group tickets here at beautiful Wrigley Field, call 773-404-CUBS. For individual tickets, stop by the Wrigley Field box office, any Ticketmaster Ticket Center, or call 312-831-CUBS. Dave Otto, Chip Carey from Wrigley. We mosey along already to the 6th. Here's Loretta, who has accounted for the only Milwaukee run. Just 3 Brewer hits. Two and 1. Loretta and Joe Girardi, the prides of Northwestern University. And he ropes that ball straight to Sosa. Nearly dead in his tracks. There's out number 1.
And Tapani stayed away this particular time in the 4th inning. Got a pitch up and in to Loretta, and Loretta drove it out to left field. This time Tapani worked him away. And Loretta still did a good job of getting after this particular pitch and driving it to right field. Good looking ball play.
Very solid, especially on the defensive end. And Burnitz takes a ball. Burnett's 0 for 2 with a strikeout.
Some of the Milwaukee hitters have a unique training method, and Jeremy Burnitz is one of them, where they look at tennis balls. They have tennis balls coming out of a chute with numbers.
The Cubs at one point tried that.
And the ball comes out, and you're supposed to read the numbers on the tennis balls.
And I guess the thinking is speed up the hand-eye coordination.
Exactly.
Or the recognition of the spin or whatever the pitch is.
And Chip, when you think about it, you know, you train your body, and that's one area that you really haven't worked that much in baseball. Like you said, the hand-eye coordination, training your eye. They shoot these tennis balls out at over 100 miles an hour.
Amazing. We're talking with some of our guys who took part in the program last year. They could see the numbers. Burnitz. Look out, folks. The bat pinwheels into the crowd.
And no damage. I think there was a beverage spilled, but that was about it.
Well, that's scary.
It really is. I've had those bats come at me on the mound. Oh my.
You could see the fans were sitting by the dugout and were frozen. Well, if you have those good seats, make sure you're keeping your eyes on the action on the field.
Woke that section up.
2-2. Lazy pop. That'll be easy. 2 down. So it's up to Jose Hernandez to keep the Milwaukee sixth alive.
Jose, 2 punch outs in this particular game, but 2 nights ago swung the bat well with 3 knocks, driving the ball to right field.
And again, it's that breaking ball that has given him so much trouble. 29 strikeouts for Hernandez. And 5 times already in the series has the former Cub third baseman been retired by the current Cub pitching staff. 0-2. 0-3. Amazing. 8 strikeouts for Kevin Tapani. The side retired in order in the 6th, and Sammy Sosa will look to add to a 3-1 Cub lead.
And he's dancing with the big finish. It's a happy camper. Foul ball in a big league game. Life is good. Contreras, a young fan, a souvenir.
Standing side by side with a big leaguer. What a thrill, huh? My goodness. You never know what you're going to see when you come to the ball.
It's another multi-hit game for Sammy Sosa. He's 2 out of 2. A homer, an RBI, 1 run scored, and here's a look at his last swing.
Well, you talk about the hot zone. You can also call it the happy zone. Right down central, Sammy is hitting .452. And gets a pitch out over the plate and drives it about 450 feet away.
You know, almost lost in all the attention Sosa's offensive numbers have garnered, and it's natural considering what's happened to him the last 2 years. His walk totals are rising too. He's becoming a much more selective hitter. He's always going to strike out. But Sosa on pace to walk more than 80 times this year.
You hit it right on the head. Early on in Sammy's career, he had trouble laying off pitches in the dirt. You could flip up breaking balls early in the count and get ahead of him, but now he's spitting on those breaking balls in the dirt.
Popped out of play, and the count evens 1-1. I mean, he's never going to be like Mark McGwire of the Cardinals, and McGwire is just amazing. All those home runs, all those games missed, but McGwire with 26 walks already. And he'll walk an average of once a game.
Well, you never want to take away Sammy's aggressiveness, and I think early on in his career, people tried to do that with Sammy Sosa. Hey, you have to let him just air it out every swing.
2-2.
You can live with the strikeouts if you're pumping the ball out of the ballpark 60 or 70 times. It's the guys that are hitting 250 with 3 home runs that you better put the ball in play.
Approaching 3 o'clock Chicago time. Cubs leading by a pair in the 6th. Full count, 3-2. Another good rip and another foul popped back. Three balls, 2 strikes. Swung, hit a mile high into straightaway center. Grissom will come galloping in, and there's out number 1. Even his outs are exciting right now, the way he's swinging the bat. 1 away in our 6th inning.
And as we look at the pitch sequence to Sammy, that's a pitch where Sammy has trouble. The pitch up and in, and then Jason Bray went away to Sammy. Buckled him with the breaking ball, up and in fastball, and did a good job on 3-2, fouling off a pitch up and in, and he got a pitch right down the middle.
That's what Grace got, and he's 3 out of 3. Well, just one more word on that Sosa at bat. The book is keep the ball up on him. Get it down, he'll crush it. The Brewers did a real good job in that at bat of keeping the ball above the belt buckle.
Especially up and in, because up and in he's not able to get extension. But down and in, he can drop the head.
So out comes Bob Apodaca to chat with Beret. Activity beginning now in the Milwaukee pen. Their lone left-hander is Valerio De Los Santos, and that's who is warming down the right field line. Three-1 score. The meeting a brief one, and into the box strides Glenn Allen Hill. A 4-game hit streak is riding on this game today. Good to see Mark Grace swing a hot bat. 3 for 3 today. And a home run and RBI.
And he's had a great approach. The first 2 times up, taking the ball to left field. And in this particular bat, pulling a pitch from Jason Beret.
Took something off. And there's strike 1. As we told you, Valerio De Los Santos is warming. No balls and a strike. Took some more off. 0-2. One on, one out. High fly to right. That's going to be playable for Mets. 2 down. And as Willie Green steps up, we'll remind you it's Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Net this week. Brian Giles and the Pirates host Mike Piazza and the Mets. Baseball Thursday, Mets and Pirates, tomorrow at 6 on Fox Sports Net. Mets beat the Pirates 2-0 yesterday. Mike Hampton turned in a gem of a performance and picked up his 3rd win of the year. And he turned in an outing like the Mike Hampton they thought they were getting from Houston. Green rolls out, and the Cubs are out in the 6th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We mosey along to the 7th. It's 3-1, Cubs leading. Kevin Barker's ready to go in the 7th inning. Cubs leading 3-1. We're zipping right along here at Wrigley Field. Cubs trying to take a 2-1 lead in this 4-game series with the finale tomorrow. And Tapani continues to use both sides of the plate very, very effectively.
Using both sides of the plate and changing speeds. Good changeup, first pitch to Barker.
Tapani has struck out 8, 2 shy of his career high of 10. And as strong as he looks, he's going to have every opportunity to post a double-digit punch-out game this afternoon. 0-2, 0-3, 9 strikeouts, and 7 straight Brewers have been retired. Well, he's really pitching a super ball game. It's hard to believe this is a man that lost 12 straight games for the Cubs.
Well, he was a little snake bitten in that streak, but yeah, he's throwing the ball good right now. He's got a great feel of his changeup, especially to left-handed hitters. I think also, Chip, last year, at the end of last year, his back was bothering him, and he wasn't able to get that good extension. Anytime you have a bad back, you just can't follow through. You can't bend your back and get that good extension, and without that good extension, you don't have that good life on your fastball.
2-0 Marquise Grissom. That's in for a strike. Special treat for us. At the end of this half inning, Jake the Snake Plummer, the quarterback from the Arizona Cardinals, will be our 7th inning stretch guest conductor. And he's a terrific NFL signal caller. Outside to Marquise, 3-2. You don't want to walk this guy. With a brief and modest 2-run lead. Ground ball, high hop toward Young at second. 2 men out. 8 in a row have been retired by Tapani. And a look at our Ford-game summary. Again, 4 solo home runs have accounted for most of the offense. Mark Grace has had a big day with the bat, and Tapani and Beret have pitched well today. But Tapani with 9 strikeouts and only 1 run allowed. Belliard swings at the first pitch, skies it toward right center field. On comes Sosa, makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 7th, and let's welcome Jake the Snake Plummer to conduct our 7th inning stretch.
Jake the Snake Plummer, quarterback from the Arizona Cardinals.
Hello, Cubs fans. I want to hear it Chicago style, so give me your best version. You ready? A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back home. Rooting for the Cubs. If they don't win, it's a shame. Or it's 1, 2, 3 strikes you're out. And the old ball
This bud's for the Blues, the Reds, and the Warriors. This bud's for the Giants, the Jazz, and the Magic. This bud's for the home team.
Joliet Jeff Reed leads things off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's a 3-1 Cub game with Dave Otto, Chip Carey, and Jake the Snake Plummer, the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals, who survived the 7th inning stretch duties. Jake, welcome to Wrigley Field.
It's been a great day so far.
You've had a very busy day, we understand. You're here in town with the folks from DirecTV. You made someone very happy. Tell us about
we delivered a brand new Cadillac Escalade to the Salamone family over in Cicero, Illinois, and they were jacked, and they're down actually on the 8th row behind the home plate watching the game. And you know, it's a thrill to come out here and do these sort of things. For me, to be in Wrigley Field is even a bigger thrill.
Now, was that just a coincidence, or was that truck Cardinal red? Was that
it was actually a little more ASU maroon.
Oh, okay,
you know
well, that
what I'm
works
saying?
too. That's all right. Well, tell us about what we can expect from the Cardinals this year. I know you guys have been battered and bruised the last couple of years. I'm sure everybody's looking for a little bit of a rebound health-wise out there.
Yeah, you know, it was a tough year last year, coming off the playoff victory over Dallas and getting into the second round. You know, it was a little tough goings there at the beginning with some injuries. Myself in the preseason, you never like to get injured in the preseason, and it seemed like we were battling all year, just uphill, trying to fight through injuries and those sort of things. But we're going to try to forget that last year and start new this year. We got some good acquisitions, some new young talent, and I'm real excited about the season. I've been having a nice off season and getting ready for it.
Injuries, fighting through those are one thing, but fighting through those expectations have to be another very difficult thing to do. You mentioned that playoff win over Dallas. Everybody was pegging you guys to be much more successful, and it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, you know, we had a special year that year, and you know, you want to build on those kind of years and continue to go into the playoffs. And you know, we had one off year, and for a team that hadn't been in the playoffs for a long time, just to go as far as we did that year was a big thrill for everybody. And sometimes you got to take a step back to realize how far you have gone. And for us, we realize we want to get back there every year. And it's exciting with the young talent, like I said, that we've added, and all the young guys getting a year older. And I'm real excited for this season.
You're excited about football as well. I know your fans would be excited about the work you do charitably off the field as well.
Yes.
Talk about that if you would.
Well, I've started the Jake Plummer Foundation, which I started a year ago. We had a bowling. We call it the Bowlerama, Jake Plummer Bowlerama, which we had last year. Was a great success. We raised over $100,000. This year we're looking to raise $250,000 that benefits the Phoenix Children's Hospital and the Alzheimer's Association. So been having some great support, and couldn't quite get myself to ask Sammy to sign a ball for me for my auction, but I might have to get someone to send me one.
Well, don't be shy. All he can do is say no.
I know, but I sign enough autographs. I know what it's like. Just to meet the guy and to be on the field, like I said, has been a big thrill for me today.
First time at Wrigley Field?
Very first time, but I'm coming back because I got a couple of jealous brothers back in Idaho that are real jealous of me right now, wanting to get out here and you know, see the friendly confines of Wrigley themselves.
No balls, 2 strikes to Damon Buford, who is 0 for 2 on the day. The Cubs leading by a score of 3-1. We're being joined by Jake Plummer, the fine young quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals. Has that sunk into you that you're in the NFL and are a superstar at the tender young age that you are?
Sometimes it strikes me pretty funny, you know, just growing up as a youngster out of Boise, Idaho, always dreaming of being there someday, and now I'm here and, you know, singing the 7th inning stretch at Wrigley Field. I mean, how many people from Idaho have ever done that? And,
Not too many.
It's a thrill, and it's you got to take advantage of it and try to enjoy it while I can. And I am young, and I hopefully will have a lot more years ahead of me of some more fun things like this. But you know, being in the NFL is a dream come true. Just trying to make the most of it right now.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 man out, and that one skips up there, and the count evens at 2-2. Fans in this town obviously have taken a very keen interest in the rebuilding program going on with the Bears. From your view down in the desert, what do you think of the Bears organization? I know you're looking at it from the outside in, as we all are.
Yeah, well, they did well at the end of the year last year, showed some promise on offense, and you know, I actually spent some time with Cade McDown over in Hawaii, and you know, I like Cade. You know, he was a young guy coming up out of the Pac-10, remind me a lot of myself. And, you know, I think he's got a great future ahead of him, especially here with the organization that will really work well with him and help him get some players around him. But, you know, it's a great just from being here the day I've been here, it's a great football, baseball, and basketball city. The sports, they love their sports, and he'll have the support, and that's really what you want.
3-2 to Buford, and a bad break for him. He tried to get out of the way of what would have been ball 4. Instead, it's fouled away, and it's a full count 3-2. For you, what was the biggest adjustment, or what do you think you're still adjusting to, making the transition from college football at the Division I level to the NFL?
Well, obviously, it's the speed of things. You know, teams being able to game plan. They'll game plan specifically for you, whereas in college, they'll try to just stop your offense, or they'll try to just stop me solely. And there's a lot of things that change. Not only just playing football, but managing your life. Because now you don't have classes and advisors that'll help you get through things. You got to do it yourself. So that's a big adjustment, but that's part of being a professional and learning as you go.
Jose Hernandez couldn't glove that high hopper off the bat of Buford. That has scored a very generous hit. And Damon Buford is aboard with 1 man out in the 7th. All or nothing play, David, and he couldn't make it.
Just on a short hop. Tried to get the big hop, but Jose just couldn't get there in time. And Damon Buford was flying down the line. Jake, where do you guys train?
Well, right now in Phoenix, it's warm, but it's not extremely hot.
Oh, you really love those 2 days when it's about 115, right?
We go up to Flagstaff for those. We go up there, and it's 7,000 feet elevation, which is nice, and you get about 95, 97 degrees, and it's very enjoyable. I love being up there, and you know, for me, I love Phoenix. I love being there, the golf and everything else, and so you know, for me, it's a great place to be. The training up there in Flag is nice. Just get out of the heat.
Well, I got to ask this question. There are a lot of ladies who are watching this game on satellite. When are you getting married?
You know, I'm 25. Like you said, I'm young. You know,
I just had to put you on the hot seat, pal.
I don't know that. I can't answer that, but maybe one day.
Sacrificed by Tapani moves Buford over to second. And with 2 men out, Eric Young will be the Cub batter. He is 0 for 3 on the year. Look down toward the Milwaukee bullpen. Bob Apodaca on his way out. And that just about might do it for Jason Beret on the day. No sign has been given yet, and now it does come. So the Cubs looking to add a big insurance run in the 7th. A little bit of fun to do to Jake the Snake Plummer. We wish you all the best. Thanks for being here this afternoon.
Thank you.
And have a great NFL season. We look forward to watching you and the rest of the Arizona Cardinals.
Thank you. And if we come here to Chicago and play the Bears, I'll make sure I don't take it easy on them.
Yeah, absolutely. We wouldn't have it any other way.
Thanks.
All right, Jake Plummer, fine young man. Good luck to him the rest of his young NFL career. Time for our Prime Coat call to the pen. We'll be right back. Hard-throwing Curtis Liskanek becomes the Milwaukee pitcher. And he'll face former Rocky Eric Young. Liskanek went 2/3 of an inning yesterday, gave up a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. He did not pitch in game 1. And folks, he can get it up there in pretty good shape. And as you see, that upstairs fastball tough to lay off.
Well, he will throw it up there until hitters can show that they can lay off that particular pitch. That was a hanging slider that time, coming off that good hard fastball, and this little one is ready.
He got it. 0-2. He's got the Joe Morgan look, but it's not with the arms, it's with the knees. Watch the knees knock together. Watch it. Right. Come on.
Well, when you're on deck, you've got to time the pitcher. And that's exactly what he's doing.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Little ground ball hit towards short. Loretta in. Oh, funny hop. Handles it nicely. And Young is retired, and so are the Cubs in the 7th. Jason Beret gives up 3 runs in 6 2/3. He's on the short end of a 3-1 game after 7. Tyler Houston takes a strike. As we move to the Milwaukee 8th, Kevin Tapani, a masterful performance. He's retired 9 straight men. He has struck out 9, which is a new season high. And a little swinging bunt. Back toward Tapani. He will throw off balance, and Tyler has an infield hit. And the tying run will come to the plate here in the 8th inning. Houston couldn't have placed the ball in a better location. And now Tapani will have to do some yeoman's work. Mark Sweeney will come on to pinch hit.
Talk about mimicking a swing. The little one imitating Eric Young. Boy, you just love that. Kids coming to the ballpark, imitating their favorite players. Now he's got the wave going.
He's his own cheering section over there, but he's having a great time, which is nice to see. Here's Sweeney, a very dangerous pinch hitter. And he takes a strike over the outside corner. Sweeney. Swings and misses. 0-2. Well, how about Jake Plummer? Nice young man. Does so much charitable work. How about Sammy Sosa? Was downstairs stretching in the tunnel between the Cubs dugout and clubhouse. Heard Jake Plummer talk about his foundation for kids in Arizona and the Alzheimer's patients. Said he was a little bit nervous about asking Sammy for an autographed baseball. Well, Sammy did a great thing. Sent up an autographed bat on his own, unprompted. So that away, Sammy, that's terrific. And I know Jake appreciated the gesture, and we did too. That was super.
Absolutely.
1-2 to Sweeney, and Tap just missed outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Giants are on the board at home against the Cardinals. Redbirds 2, Giants 1 in the 3rd. San Francisco playing real good baseball. Giants have won 6 of their last 7 and are 5 games behind the red-hot Diamondbacks, who've scored 44 runs in their last 5 games. 2-2. Swing and a miss. And Tapani has equaled his career high of 10. And Sweeney looks down at first base at Tyler Houston as if to say, hey, you missed a sign.
Well, what Tapani has been doing is changing speeds, taking something off his fastball. With the changeup outer half, he got Sweeney way out in front, had no chance.
Well, it's great to see Kevin Tapani pitching like he did in 1998 when he was the ace of this staff.
Well, right now he's got such a good feel of the game. He's adding and subtracting.
You said that would be one of the keys. You don't have to throw 97 miles an hour. But if you take 2 or 3 miles off, that's enough to make the hitters miss the meat part of the bat.
Boy, and some pitchers have that knack where even in their windup, they sense something from the hitter and they're able to take something off.
A little roller left side. Green basket catch. Throw to first. 2 down. Runner to second. Tyler Houston. So 1 on, 2 outs, and Mark Loretta, who has hit the lone Milwaukee homer, stands in. And there's our Sammy Sosa home run slash dodge drive of the game. Number 13 for Sosa. A 2-hit game for him, a 3-hit game for Mark Grace. And a 4-hit effort by Kevin Tapani through 7 2/3. Ball 1 misses.
This is a big hitter for Kevin Tapani. You've got Jeremy Burnitz lurking on the on-deck circle. And last time against Loretta, Tap did a good job of working him away after giving up the home run in earlier in the 4th.
And time is called as the ball gets away from the Milwaukee bullpen. KC has blanked Detroit again. Boy, the Tigers. They're the toothless Tigers right now. Another shutout they have suffered. 6-0 the final score today. Kansas City with a rare road win. The Royals came in one of the best home teams in baseball, but the worst away from home. They're 4-11, have won 5 in a row now, and are 3 games over 500 and only a game and a half behind the White Sox for first place.
And you talk about at home, they've had a couple walk-off wins where they win it in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Tapani with excellent stuff despite a pitch count approaching 120. And now has a 2-1 count to Loretta. Down on the farm, the Iowa Cubs wasted a pretty good starting effort by Brian McNichol last night. New Orleans, the Houston Astros AAA affiliate, blanked them 1-0. Chad Myers doubled for the Cubs. Gary Matthews Jr. walked twice and stole a base. The Iowa Cubs 9-23, however, on the year. At AA, West Tennessee beat Greenville. Doug Johnston, a former Milwaukee farmhand, got a no decision. The Daytona Cubs pounded Dunedin 10-1. David Kelton went 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and 4 RBIs. He's a fine third base prospect for the Cubs. Hesop Choi went 1 for 3 and scored twice. And right fielder Pete Fukuhara singled twice and scored twice.
And this might be Kevin Tapani's last hitter, especially with Burnitz up next. You have Felix Heredia warm in the bullpen.
Yeah, Don Baylor got him up at the start of the inning. So there'd be no controversy as to whether or not a man would be warmed up enough. And Tapani might have just walked his last hitter. So he's around 120 pitches. And I think that is going to do it. Yeah, you got to play percentages here. Crowd wants Tapani to try to finish what he starts. But the time runs are on. And Baylor, a long look down toward the pen. He has not yet signaled. Now he has. Heredia will get the call. But folks, what an afternoon for Kevin Tapani. 7 innings and 2/3 for the Cubs. He struck out 10 men. He walked only 2 men. He's given up 1 run, 4 hits. The men aboard belong to him. It's our Primeco call to the pen, and we'll see if the left side of that Cub bullpen can continue its very good work as Tapani turned in an outstanding start today at Wrigley Field. Heredia against Burnitz, and how about that? First pitch in the dirt, runners advance 90 feet, and a base hit could tie the game. A wild pitch by Felix Heredia.
Well, good idea throwing a first pitch breaking ball to Burnitz, who's probably sitting on a fastball. And Reeder tries to get out there, just can't find the ears.
So they're at second and third. The pitch. Strike. Heredia has given up only 2 hits all year to left-hand hitters. That's the reason the move made by Don Baylor. That and a pitch count around 120 for Tapani, who was absolutely mesmerizing today. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swung, belted, deep right field. It backfires again. A 3-run homer for Jeremy Burnitz. And the Brewers have turned this game around. So all that Tapani hard work is wasted as Jeremy Burnitz clubs us once again. His 4th home run of the series.
And up to this point against Burnitz, Tapani worked Jeremy away.
A little infield dribbler, a 2-out walk, a pitching change, and then a mammoth Burnitz home run, his 5th in the last 4 games. This was a guy who had not homered in 25 games before the game before they came to Chicago. One and 2 to Hernandez. So looking ahead to the bottom of the 8th inning, the Cubs again will have to come from behind. It'll be the 2, 3, 4 hitters against a very good Milwaukee bullpen. Strike 3 called to the outside corner. 11 Brewers have struck out. Jose Hernandez has struck out 4 times, but this time the left side of the pen struggled. A home run by Burnitz turns the game around and gives Milwaukee a 1-run lead.
MLB at Home is presented by Scott's, who knows that some of the best games are played in the backyard. Scott's, grow more good.
Wouldn't believe it, the wind blowing toward left today. Not with Jeremy Burnitz in the lineup for Milwaukee. A 3-run homer in the 8th inning has turned the game around, and David Weathers, the hard-throwing right-hander, is in for the Brewers.
And we saw Weathers last night get his first save of the season, and up to this point throwing the ball extremely well with 17 strikeouts in 23 innings pitched.
So Beret off the hook. Kevin Tapani can't win it. Leskanic and Heredia for the moment the pitchers of record, and Weathers will try to navigate the 8th, get it to the 9th where Bob Wickman could take over and try to shut us down for the save. 0-2 to Rickey, and it's low and away. Don Baylor had to make the move with Burnitz in the batter's box. Tapani was around 120 pitches, was starting to fade, and as well as Heredia had pitched, you didn't expect him to toss a wild pitch and a home run ball up there, but that's exactly what happened.
Especially the way Kevin Tapani pitched to his last hitter, Mark Loretta. Missed bad on a couple pitches for ball 4. And you got to play the matchups.
And you got to say to your bullpen, look, I have confidence that you can get the job done. Now, I know that Don's confidence has not been rewarded a whole lot by the bullpen as a group this year. But you like I said, when your left-hander's given up only 2 hits all year to a left-handed hitter, you got to think the odds are in your favor. But Burnitz, as he has done throughout his Brewer National League career against us, spoiled those odds. So now here's Sosa. Sammy homered back in the 4th inning. A long ball here would tie it at 4. High drive off to the right side and out of play. 0-2.
And in this situation with Milwaukee up by a run, Weathers working Sammy away. Probably will only go inside on Sammy, only for effect.
No balls, 2 strikes. Houston was setting up away. That pitch sailed over the middle of the plate, but was collarbone high.
And Houston wanted that pitch in. He signaled for the fastball in. Weathers kept shaking it off, wanting to go with the fastball away.
4-3 Milwaukee. The 1-2 pitch took something off, and Sosa's down on strikes. 2 up, 2 down. Boy, what a luxury Davey Lopes has. If he gets any kind of starting pitching through 6 or 7 innings, they've got a good chance to win the game.
Really, that's the way the game has changed. Weathers throwing a cutter away. Just a pitch that looks like a fastball, breaking a little bit away. Sammy can't get on it.
2 up, 2 down for Grace, who has a perfect afternoon going. 2 singles, a homer, a run scored, and an RBI. The Cubs in real trouble at the moment. A 4-3 Milwaukee game with the wind blowing in. And the Milwaukee pen throwing smoke. A high strike. Grace didn't like it. Hope our good friends at our Fox Sports Net affiliate, Dowden Communications, and their viewers in Winslow, Illinois, have enjoyed the ball game to this point. The 1-1. Over, but low. Big group of kids is here. Enjoying the ball game. They handed me a note before the game, and I promised them I'd get to it. The 2-1. High pop up. Shallow left center field. Wind playing tricks with that. In left, Mouton is under. He has it. And that retires the side. The Washington Elementary School in Waukegan is here with a big group of kids enjoying beautiful Wrigley Field, and we're glad to see them. 4-3 Milwaukee after 8. Here we go to the 9th inning. Kevin Barker will try to help Milwaukee pick up a big insurance run in the 9th inning. 3 runs in the 8th. And a hot shot up the middle, a base hit. Well, Heredia came into the game allowing just 2 hits to left-handed hitters all year. He's given up 2 in this ball game. A home run to Brunitz, and now a 9th inning leadoff single to Kevin Barker. And here's Marquise Grissom.
Well, we saw a stolen base earlier in the ball game from Kevin Barker. Let's see what Marquise Grissom does here, whether Davey Lopes decides to hit and run.
Took a little off, and that's over the outside corner. All the other baseball besides the Cardinal Giant game in the National League gets underway later on. The Phillies will be in Montreal. San Diego visits Cincinnati. The Pirates host New York. And Atlanta will be in Florida. Rifled into the seats. Pitching matchups for those games. Sterling Hitchcock 0-4, believe it or not, for San Diego against Ron Vallone. Tom Glavine goes for his 6th straight victory against Jesus Sanchez, who's 3-1. Masato Yoshi for Colorado against Shane Reynolds in Houston. Reynolds 4-0. Robert Person against Javier Vasquez, who's 3-0 for the Expos. Way high to Grissom. In San Francisco, Andy Benes and Joe Nathan are hooked up in a 2-2 affair. And the biggie later on tonight. And if you have a satellite dish, you won't want to miss this one. Kevin Brown against Randy Johnson in Arizona. The big unit 7-0. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And we saw the big unit. Now he's got a 2-seam fastball. Oh my.
He's almost unfair. But he can drop a 92 or 93 mile-an-hour fastball over the plate. Then that slider, and then when he has to, he can bring it up there 98, 99. 2-2. Good cut, straight back. Bullpen empty for the Cubs. It's Heredia's game in the 9th. Looking ahead to the bottom half, Hill, Green, and Reed are due for the Cubs. Bob Wickman could be in line to pick up the save. The Cubs, barring a comeback, will fall to 4-8 on this homestand. The 2-2 pitch now. Nowhere near 3-2. Now we'll see if Davey Lopes sends Barker here.
Felix Heredia is struggling locating his fastball. He's thrown a good changeup in this sequence to Grissom. Might have a little more confidence right now in his breaking ball or changeup.
Now Farnsworth getting up in the Cub pen. 3-2 pitch. Runner goes way outside, nowhere near. Well, a disturbing trend, and I hate to sound like you're piling on, but you look at the numbers and they're shocking out of our bullpen. And there are very few moves that Don Baylor can make to change it. This year, coming into today's game, the Cubs starters had worked 210 innings. Our relievers had worked 103 innings. So roughly, just for the sake of ease,
innings.
100 fewer innings. Our starters had walked 79 men. Our relievers had walked 76 men. 3 fewer men in 100 fewer innings. And the Cubs, like everybody else, are searching high and low under every nook and cranny trying to find relief help. Tim Worrell did not pitch well for Baltimore, but the Cubs hoping to catch lightning in a bottle. Eric Plunk's a big guy who throws hard, and he too has been signed. Belliard lays down the bunt. It's toward Green. He is going to go to third. It's not in time. All hands are safe. Fielder's choice, and the bases are loaded now in the 9th, and there's nobody out.
And the Cubs had the wheel play on where the third baseman Willie Green is charging with Ricky Gutierrez covering third base. Willie had a good look at Barker coming down the line to third base. Thought he had a shot at him. Throw was a little offline. Great stretch by Ricky Gutierrez.
The Cubs have given up 14 ninth inning runs in our last 4 games. And now Charlie Hayes will be announced. He'll come on with the bases loaded and none out for Milwaukee, and bat for Tyler Houston. So righty-lefty matchup, and Don Baylor will come out once again. Everybody's given Don the heat for taking Kevin Tapani out of the ball game, but frankly, folks, he's not the guy throwing the pitches out of that pen. He's given everybody opportunities to get the job done, but it has not happened for him with any kind of regularity. Kyle Farnsworth now will come on. Bases full, none out. Milwaukee looking to pad a 4-3 lead after this. Ball 2. And it's an entirely different animal, starting every 5th day and now coming in with the game on the line every day. If anything, Farnsworth's arm has gotten stronger, but this is a pressure-packed situation. There's no margin for mistake. And he has given up a bevy of runs. That's back up the middle, off the glove of Gutierrez into center field. 2 runs are going to score, and the Brewers have busted the game wide open. A broken bat roller through the drawn-in infield, and Milwaukee now leads it 6-3.
Farnsworth makes a great pitch, slider low and away. Charlie Hayes nicks it, and with the drawn-in infield, Ricky Gutierrez is not able to give a little ground on this play, and the ball rolls through the middle to score 2.
So Henry Blanco will be the batter. Still nobody out, and the Cubs have given up 2 more 9th inning runs.
Boy, that was a perfectly placed ball.
They've had a couple of those in the last 2 innings. One by Tyler Houston started their rally, and then that one by Hayes, only his 3rd hit of the year, with men in position to score. One ball, no strikes. Low 2-0. We were sailing right along, but you had to pull the plug on Kevin Tapani after around 120 pitches and 10 strikeouts with Jeremy Burnett standing in. The odds tell you that he's not going to hit a home run. Well, I didn't win the big lottery game yesterday, and you can see why I'm not real good at playing the odds.
Kyle Farnsworth needs to come all the way back from 3-zip.
But again, You just keep hoping that sometime soon that light's going to click on for someone in the bullpen. After real good starts, Heredia and Guthrie have struggled of late. Rick Aguilera has struggled. Farnsworth has struggled in just about every outing since going into the bullpen. Brian Williams, only now a month and a half into the season, has discovered the magic. And right now there are no options for Don Baylor to go to. And that is why that's got to be the loneliest feeling in the world, where whatever button you push, you hope, rather than know it's going to come out the way you hoped. So bases full again now for Mouton. And a big swing and a miss at the slider. It's 0-1.
Well, usually as a manager, you can get by at one time. If one or two guys are struggling, you go with the hot hand. You put them at the top of the totem pole. But when you have 3 or 4 guys struggling, and they'll get out of it, but it's just amazing that it's all at one time.
So again, Milwaukee loads them up, and still nobody out. Infield again has to come in, and a high rocket hit to right. Dead in his tracks is Sosa. Comes charging. There's the catch. Belliard tags. The throw is late. Sac fly RBI for Mouton. That scores Belliard, and it closes the book on Felix Heredia. Heredia goes 1/3 of an inning and gives up 4 on 2 hits and a walk. He also struck out a man and gave up the Burnett's home run.
And Mouton looking for something up in the zone. He's able to get it out to right field. Sammy throws a strike to home, but just not in time.
So 17 runs given up by the Cubs in their last 5 ninth innings. Here's Loretta. He rifles it out of play. This game has rapidly gotten ugly. The Cubs were leading it 3-1. Tapani was blazing a brilliant trail, but 3 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th so far for the Brewers, and they have them 1st and 3rd with 1 out. Line drive up the middle, base hit. That will score Hayes. Stopping at second is Blanco. It's 8-3. First run of the game charged to Farnsworth. Farnsworth now has given up 7 runs in his last 3 innings over 4 games, and 12 in 8 innings and a third since going to the bullpen. Here's Burnitz. A 3-run homer in the 8th, lefty versus lefty. And now he has the luxury of facing the right-hander. He hit his 10th home run, his 5th in 4 games, his 4th of the series. Off the end of the bat, foul. It's 0-2.
Burnitz right now is getting great plate coverage. Takes Heredia deep on a pitch, inner half. And now Carl Farnsworth is working him away, and he's still fouling off pitches away.
The 2-strike pitch to the Brewer right fielder. Foul tipped into the glove of Reed, and Burnitz is out on strikes. So 2 men down in the 9th. First strikeout for Farnsworth. And Jose Hernandez now a chance to avoid a real rough day. He has struck out 4 times today. 3 times swinging, once looking.
I know 4 is a golden sombrero.
I say platinum.
Platinum?
Way outside, ball 1.
Tell you what, if I've got 4 punch outs, I am short right here.
Choke up, bunt, for crying out loud. Do anything to make contact. Rifle. Young handles on the short hop, flips to second in time, and the inning mercifully comes to a close, but 4 more runs score. The Cubs' pen has given up 7 in the last 2 innings. Three-2. Pull toward Charlie Hayes. Big hop. Looping throw, 1 down in the 9th. So Hill ends the day 0 for 4. And here is Willie Green, a solo line drive home run back in the 4th. Good news for the Brewers, too, on the pitching front. John Snyder and Jamie Wright both will be making rehab starts within the next 48 hours. John Snyder makes his second rehab start at Jacksonville in Double-A baseball today. Wright will make his second appearance tomorrow down in Huntsville. And if those 2 guys can come back, Milwaukee has a chance to be even more respectable in the division. Their offense has awakened from its early spring slumber here in Chicago. They've gotten outstanding pitching today. The bullpen continues to be their strong point. And they're going to go just as far as the big lumbering bat of Jeremy Brunitz can take them. And so far in this series, he has murdered us. 4 home runs, 6 RBIs, and 5 hits. 2-2.
And with John Snyder coming back for the Milwaukee Brewers, that is, right now that looks like a one-sided trade between the White Sox and the Milwaukee Brewers. Jamie Navarro and John Snyder going over to Milwaukee for Jose Valentin and Cal Eldred, and both of those guys playing well on the south side for the White Sox. And Jamie Navarro out of baseball.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Well, you know, or at least you think you know, what Dean Taylor has in mind as he takes over the GM duties in Milwaukee to try to build a system that will rival that of the Atlanta Braves. I don't know if that's ever going to be possible again to develop that kind of pitching. But when they took over, he and Dave Wilder inherited a system that was not developing players at all. And that's going to be the real challenge, is how long will it take the brain trust to develop players. Green chases a bad ball, and he's out number 2. First strikeout for Brewski, and now Jeff Reed, our final hope. A Milwaukee win today. And we flip-flop places. The Cubs would fall into the cellar in the Central. Reed 0 for 3, sprays it out of play, foul for strike 1. A whole lot of commotion out in the center field bleachers. That's the roar you're hearing. And we're not going to show the altercation to you. The 0-1. 0-2. We're down to our last strike. Now time is called as something came flying in from the stands. And folks, if you're coming to the ballpark, don't be a moron. Don't throw things on the field. Now we're ready to go again. No balls, 2 strikes. 8-3. Milwaukee has the lead. The pitch. And that boxes Blanco. Same 2 teams tomorrow. It appears the Cubs will be trying to salvage the split. Scott Downs against Steve Woodard. Downs 1-1. Woodard 0-4. The 1-2 pitch. Didn't miss by much. It's 2-2.
Well, he's flipped up a couple changeups. We got Willie Green on a pitch down and out of the zone. 3-2. He might try it again.
Good cut. Reed with a nice at bat here in the 9th inning. Milwaukee 8 hits, the Cubs 7. Heredia and Leskanic, the pitchers of record, and now the 2-2. Lined again out of play. Love to see the veterans battling in this situation.
You really do love to see that, Chip. You're down by 5 runs, 2 outs. Crazier things have happened in this game.
The 2-2 is up high. Woodard pitching for Milwaukee tomorrow in the middle of a 7-game losing streak. Last win August 6th of last year when he beat the Reds. The 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Damon Buford will bat here in the 9th.
And that was a great at bat from Jeff Reed, keeping this inning alive. You want my Newt Rockne speech?
Let's hear it.
In Double-A, we were down by 10 runs with 2 outs in the 9th. And we came back.
He came back and won it? I thought you were going to say we ended the game down 9 or 8.
I've never seen anything like it.
Well, that happened to the Dodgers or the Phillies, was it, out in L.A. many years ago. I think they scored 7 or 8 with 2 outs. Little bloop toward first. Barker boxes it. Hey! Not a whole lot of wind affected that ball. It never got more than 10 feet up in the air. So we do still have life. That looked for sure like the game ender. But Kevin Barker playing first base like Bob Barker.
Well, he lost that ball in the sun, and he didn't get his glasses down in time to make the play.
No word yet on how that's going to be scored. But no matter how you score it, we've got 2 on and 2 out. Now Henry Rodriguez will pinch hit. As we told you earlier, Rodriguez eligible for pinch hit duty after fouling a ball off his foot last night. And he takes an inside corner strike. It was 3-1 Cubs. That was after 7. But Jeremy Brunitz turned the tide with 1 swing of the bat. In the dirt. Brewski having trouble getting that final out. And that is ruled an error, that little bloop off the bat of Buford. One ball, 1 strike. Upstairs, it's 2-1.
And Brewski really struggling right now with his off-speed pitches, throwing them for strikes. Henry is probably dialed in right now for number 1, the fastball.
Swung, hit high in the air, deep left center. Grissom turns around, it's long gone. 3-run pinch hit homer. It's an 8-6 game. And out of the dugout. dugout. Pops Bob Apodaca. I think he has seen enough of Jim Brewski, who goes 2/3 of an inning. He gives up 1 hit, 3 runs, walked 1, and struck out 1. So into the game comes Bob Wickman, looking to get the final out of the ball game. It's an 8-6 Milwaukee lead, and the Cubs making them see Bob Wickman on to try to restore order and pick up his 5th save. Henry Rodriguez has just become the 4th Cub in history to hit pinch hit home runs in consecutive pinch hit at bats. He joins Dale Long, who did it in 1959, Carmen Fanzone in 1974, and Darren Jackson, who did it in 1988. A 3-run, 2-out homer pulls the Cubs to within 2 in the bottom of the 9th inning. It wouldn't be a Cub-Milwaukee series without some late drama. And Wickman misses with a ball. Now remember, after Young, you've got Gutierrez, Sosa, and Grace. But somebody's got to get on the pitch. Strike over the inside corner.
And Wickman got ready in a hurry down the right field line. So maybe he's not completely right, but when you go out there and you've got 8 pitches on the mound, usually that's enough to be on time.
1 ball, 1 strike. Way outside. It's 2-1. EY 0 for 4 on the game. 1 out of 12 in the series. Missed inside. 3-1. So the normally reliable Milwaukee bullpen has been let down by their normally reliable defense. This game should be over, but Barker's big error on a little bloop at first allows Rodriguez to unload. It's 3 unearned runs for Jim Brewski and a 2-run lead, and now it's a 3-2 count to Young. The stretch, the pitch. It's ripped straight back. Good battle here.
Great hack. Wickman threw a 3-2 slider, and EY made the adjustment and fouled it off.
The 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Tying run will come to the plate.
Chip, I don't think he had enough time to get loose down in that bullpen. Doesn't have the same life on his fastball as he did 2 nights ago when Wickman got the loss against the Cubs.
Well, remember, he got up, then sat down after Milwaukee jumped out to the big lead with 4 in the 9th. Then, as Brewski got into some trouble, he got up and started to throw quickly. You're right. You wonder if on a cool day, if he might have gotten a little stiff. Let's hope so. For here's Gutierrez. 2 walks, an error, and a home run have plated 3 in the bottom of the 9th inning. It's a save situation for Wickman. And Gutierrez digging in. He's 0 for 3. And nearly got hit. Hang in there, Ricky. I know it's easy to say from up here, but might need you to take one for the team. And now Charlie Hayes in for a chat. It all started very innocently. Hill grounded to third. Green struck out. And then Reed with a great at bat against Brewski walked. Buford hit a little pop that Barker misplayed. Rodriguez pinch hits, launches a 3-run homer. One ball, no strikes. Low, 2-0. That man would be next. 3-0. Think he'll have the green light here?
Oh my. Stick that bat in your back pocket.
If he swings, it's news. Ball 4. Well, it doesn't get any more exciting than this now. Their best closer against our biggest slugger. The game is on the line in the 9th inning. He's gone deep once already today.
And Sammy got a pitch middle in and drove it to left center field. A bomb.
And folks, he has absolutely annihilated Bob Wickman. He walked in the 10th inning 2 games ago. He's 5 for 7 lifetime, and he takes a quick strike. 5 for 7, a .714 batting average. Three runs are in the 9th. The Cubs offensive players again trying to give this team a huge lift. The 0-1 almost hit him inside. Mark Grace waiting on deck.
And Wickman's having trouble locating his fastball. The first pitch to Sosa was a slider that he was able to get over for strikes. He'll probably go back to that slider.
A ball and a strike. Line like a bullet over the roof down the right field line. And again, we're down to our last strike in the game. That time he did, and now Wickman, a long, circuitous walk behind the mound, gathering his thoughts. This is the pitch he'd like it to happen on. He doesn't want it to go 3-2, for then the runners would be off and moving with the pitch, and a gapper could tie the game. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The stretch, here it comes. Low, ball 3, they'll be running. Now we know how the other half lives. Their pen really scuffling.
Whatever it takes.
I ain't doing that to you, pal. I draw the line right there. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Young and Gutierrez lead. Sosa digging in. Grace on deck. 8-6 Milwaukee in the 9th. Runners go, the pitch swung, and he popped it back. And a good rip. And stays alive.
He really did a slider, hanging slider, right over the middle of the plate. And Sammy Sosa had a great hack.
He hit his 349th career home run back in the 4th. He's hit 5 home runs in the last 6 games. He has 13 of them on the year. He has yet to take Wickman deep in his career. And this would be a perfect spot for it would win the game for the Cubs after all seemed lost with disastrous 8th and 9th inning pitching. $24,601, the paid crowd today. A lot of them have hung in there for the 9th. Runners go, 3-2, ball 4. They're loaded for Grace. Wickman has walked 3 consecutive men. And there's nobody up in their pen. It's his game. Wickman had not given up a run coming into this series, but the Cubs might have rattled his cage.
And can Gracie get one up in the jet stream to left center in the 4th inning? Got a pitch out over the plate for a basket piece.
So Grace 0 for 1 lifetime against Wickman. Bases loaded. The pitch in for a strike. It's 0-1. All of this coming with 2 out. We told you, never say never. A hit would score 2 perhaps. Burnitz has a cannon in right. The pitch. Low, ball 1. Whoever loses this game, it's going to be a crushing defeat. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foul tipped, and again we're down to our last hack perhaps. It's 1-2. Wickman shaking his head. He doesn't have his A stuff today. Can the crafty veteran navigate his way through the 9th? This will be a Rod Beck-like appearance for him. The 1-2 pitch due to Mark Grace. Here it is. Whoa, just missed. Wickman thought he got the call. But when you walk 3 guys, the calls aren't going to you. The hitter gets the break, and let's take a peek.
Exactly. When you're all over the place, the umpire is not locked in, and Steve Ripley calls this a ball. Boy, that's too close to take. Gracie may have caught a break.
So it's 2-2. The pitch. Bouncing ball up the middle. Loretta in, up, across, high throw, not in time. One is in, streaking toward the plate. Gutierrez scores, and we're tied. Grace legs it out. Might have pulled a hamstring, but the game is tied at 8 in miracle-like fashion. 2-run score on a high hopper. And an error on Loretta, only his 2nd of the year. Barker couldn't hold the bag, and the Cubs have tied it up 8-8. I don't believe it.
And Mark Grace gave it his all going down to first base, along with Ricky Gutierrez. Gene Glynn does a good job of waving him along. Loretta throws high to Barker, and Barker wants to argue with the umpire, Tim Tashida. And while that is going on, Ricky Gutierrez low flying down the 3rd base line and ties it up. Gracie is a flat out gamer.
So into the game comes Shane Andrews. And now we have a chance to win it outright. The Cubs have done the unbelievable. 5 runs with 2 outs in the 9th. 4 walks, 2 errors, and a home run. And while the first baseman Barker argues, the play at the plate just an eyelash ahead of the tag. And the Milwaukee defense, normally very sound, has fallen completely and totally apart. And Wickman thought he was out. Can't believe it. He's blown the save. And now Hill a chance to win it for us as we've sent 10 men to the plate. 1st and 2nd. The pitch to Hill. Low, ball 1. The only other thing you have to wonder is how costly will this game be for the Cubs. It appeared Grace stretched out a hamstring, pouring everything he had into the play at first base. 8-8. The pitch. Swung! Bouncing ball toward Loretta. He'll flip the 2nd in time. That throw was high. And it forces Shane Andrews. But how about this ball club? 5 runs with 2 outs. The Brewers commit 2 errors. They walk 4 men. And we head to bonus panels. Game tied 8-8. Folks, we've seen a lot of crazy stuff in this series between the Cubs and Brewers, but 5 runs scored in the 9th on 1 hit. And the key play, Kevin Barker could not catch Damon Buford's little blue. A little glimmer of sunshine nabbed him. He didn't flip the shades down, and it cost him. And so the Cubs score 5 runs in the 9th. Shane Andrews stays in the game to play first base. And Brian Williams is on to pitch our 10th inning. I can't believe what we just saw. Can't believe it.
And Wickman had no clue throwing the ball in that particular inning. Just could not locate.
Barker bounces weakly toward third. Willie Green flips to first. 1 man down in the 10th. And I'm sure at the end of this game, Davey Lopes is going to pull his rookie first baseman aside and say, listen, son, if you're going to wear the sunglasses and you wear that eye black, make sure you use that stuff. That has turned out to be the biggest play in this game. 1 out for Marquise Grissom, 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. 8-8 in the 10th. And Brian Williams fires high, ball 1.
Brian Williams throwing the ball much better. He's got better tempo on the mound. Speeded up his delivery a little bit.
Looping line drive right center field for a hit. So Grissom is aboard. He's thinking 2. Here comes the Buford throw. It's in plenty of time. And Grissom runs himself out here in the 10th. A single, 8-6 on the putout.
Damon Buford hustling all the way. Throws a strike to Ricky Gutierrez. Gutierrez puts on the tag. And Grissom was low flying the whole way. He had double on his mind. Does not hesitate at all.
That's one of those plays. If you make it, it's a great play. If you don't, your manager's saying should have played it safe. So Grissom is out number 2. A super play by Buford. And here's Belliard. He's 1 for 4. Breaking ball, a beauty. 1 ball, 1 strike. Over but low. 2-1. The Cubs score 5 runs on 1 hit in the 9th inning. Two and 2. Twelve runs scored by these two teams in the last inning and a half. A swinging bunt. That's trouble. Reed pounces, flips to first. Andrews dug it out, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, none left. We go to the bottom of the 10th inning. Willie Green will lead it off. Eight game. Changes for Milwaukee. Valerio de los Santos into pitch. And Luis Lopez also into the game for Milwaukee. And he plays second base for Ron Belliard. So here we go to the 10th inning. Green, Reed, and Buford are scheduled for the Cubs. Another crazy, wacky game between these two teams. Well, you look at these relief pitching lines, and if you're a baseball purist, you want to grab some Pepto.
Well, a case can be made for when the Brewers, before the Brewers scored the 4 runs in the top of the 9th, Wickman was up and he was loose. And then all of a sudden they scored a bunch of runs, and Davey Lopes decides to go with Jim Bruschi. I think a case can be made where you get a guy up, you bring him into the ball game. And we've seen some crazy games between the Brewers and the Cubs. it makes sense. Hey, just trot your closer out there. Yeah, you lose him for another day, but at the same time.
Or if you're not going to do that, let Weathers go another inning.
Right.
And he blew right through us. It wasn't even close in the 8th inning. But he figured with a big lead, Brewski could come in, and it looked like Lope's hunch was going to be right. He got the first 2 men almost as quickly as they stood in the batter's box. But then 8 more men came to the plate, and there's no defense against the base on balls. Cubs got 4 of them, 2 errors and a home run, and scored 5 times in the 9th. So here we go to the 10th. De Los Santos, the lone left-hander for Milwaukee. A high pop-up on the first pitch. Loretta. 1 man down. Here's Jeff Reed. Reed today is 0 for 3 with a walk. He scored 1 of the 5 in the 9th. Jeff 0 for his last 14. And he takes a ball low.
Well, he's 0 for 14, but he's the reason why we are still playing this ball game, because he had a great at bat in the 9th inning.
Fouled straight back. You're right. It was his at bat with 2 outs. He was down in the count, kept battling Jim Brewski, and finally earned the walk. And that's why that 27th out is the toughest to get. 1-1 pitch. It's high, 2 balls and a strike. Rick Aguilera getting loose in the Cub bullpen. The Milwaukee pen is silent. The lone man they have left down there is Juan Acevedo. Good rip, 2-2. Seattle has tied Texas now. They play in the bottom of the 8th inning. Mariners 5, Rangers 5. Big series for Texas as Seattle the pace setter in the American League West. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Reed. The pitch. He struck him out, a foul tip. 2 up, 2 down in the 10th. Buford 1 for 4. He reached on that Barker error in the 9th.
And Reeder gets a fastball inner half. De Los Santos is trying to go away. Reeder tried to pull his hands in, just couldn't get it.
How about if somebody just pops one here, and let's head home. Rolled foul, and a ricochet off the camera well.
How about this time driving it over Barker's head?
Or just hit it right to him. He hasn't been able to catch anything today. Loretta in air, and Barker the air. Open up the floodgates. Boy, Grace busted down that line. Made Loretta hurry the play, and in doing so he rushed it through high. That caused Barker to argue for a second, and Gutierrez never stopped running, and he came home with the game tying run. So now Buford in the driver's seat, 3 balls and a strike.
I still think 3-1 right here. You have got to make him put it in a box. Get your pitch and drive it. If not, lay off.
We'll never know. Another 2-out walk. That's the 5th in the last 2 innings. So Nieves will bat for Brian Williams here. Williams worked a very good inning. And here's Nieves. The Cubs won their first extra inning game the other day. They try to make it 2 in a row today. And that one corked away. And right off the hands of a fan sitting off to our right. I mean, you could have asked for a more tailor-made pop fly foul. And the young man butchered it. 1-1.
Nieves got a good hack on the first pitch to foul it straight back and did a good job laying off a pitch borderline.
The Cubs a gift recipient of 5 unearned runs. And a line drive into right center field. Grissom has to play it safe, and it almost went past him. Whoa, that could have been disaster. Instead, it's another pinch hit for Nieves. And the winning runs at second with 2 out.
Nieves gets a good hack on a pitch out over the plate, and Grissom had thoughts of trying to make this play, and it almost got by him. At the last second, he pulled up. Boy, in that situation, you cannot take a chance. You got to let that ball dump in front of you, especially with 2 outs.
So here's Eric Young. Young 0 for 4. And De Los Santos steps off. Young steps away. Young scored our 7th run off Wickman. A little chopper back to the mound. De Los Santos with 2 hands makes the play, and we will battle on to see the 11th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left. After 10, it's still 8-8. We're in the 11th. It's an 8-8 game, and Rick Aguilera will come on and face the 8, the 9, and the number 1 spots in the Milwaukee batting order. It's been a rough couple of days for Rick Aguilera.
In over 14 innings pitched, 10 walks, which is not typical of Rick Aguilera, and 13 punch-outs. And he was snake-bitten in his last ball game, coming in relief and giving up a bloop single to Charlie Hayes to tie that game on Monday night.
So Aguilera closing in on 300 saves. This is not a save opportunity. He could get the win, however, if he shuts him down here, and the Cubs can push across a run in the bottom half of this 11th inning. It'll be Charlie Hayes, Henry Blanco, and then we'll see. 8-8 game. Hayes tries to bunt, and it's popped up out of play. And no matter the outcome of this game for the Cubs, it's real bad news injury-wise. Mark Grace has pulled his hamstring, as we expected. And he will be reevaluated tomorrow, but those are real tough injuries to come back from. And it's one of those injuries that if you try to come back from it before it's 100%, you pull it usually worse. So he's, in all likelihood, again, it's just speculation, he's going to be out of the lineup for a pretty good bit here. Charlie Hayes shot down the right field line and out of play. The Cubs are already playing a bit shorthanded with the position players and carrying an extra pitcher, one. But two, Henry Rodriguez playing with that sore foot. Probably can't play the outfield. He could play first base for the Cubs. In fact, he will tell you that's his best position. But if you move him over, then you got to go out and get two more outfielders. So I'm sure Ed Lynch will be working busy into the night along with Don Baylor to try to figure out A, if Grace will be lost for any length of time, but B, if that's the case, what will be the remedy? 2-2 to Charlie Hayes. A check swing roller toward Eric Young. That's easy. One away.
Good pitch by Rick Aguilera, and that was the exact same pitch that 2 nights ago Charlie Hayes was able to lift that slider over the infield. But here Charlie Hayes, just a little check swing, completely fooled, and EY gobbles it up to Mr. Andrews.
So here's Henry Blanco. He walked in the 4-run Milwaukee ninth. Outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Pulled toward third. Oh, big pickup by Green. Nice play. 2 down.
Willie Green got a great jump. 1 step to his left. Sucked it up and threw a strike to Shane Andrews over at first base.
So Aguilera, 2 straight ground ball outs in the 11th, and James Mouton the batter. 0 for 4 with a sac fly and an RBI. Another game of unbelievable twists and turns. Damon Buford, the big partner, Ricky Gutierrez, was thrown out at the plate in the first inning. How big is that run looking for the Cubs? The Cub bullpen gave up 7 in the 8th and 9th, but has recovered to pitch very good innings in the 10th and so far here in the 11th. The Cubs down to their last swing several times in that 9th inning. Score 5 times with 2 outs and do it with only 1 hit. In the process, though, we tie the game and lose Mark Grace. Pop straight back. Well, I know you're hoping traffic isn't going to be bad, huh?
I'm on that red line.
Oh, you're all right then. Piece of cake. One and 2. It's 2-2. We hope it won't come to pass, but it is somewhat possible that Grace could end up on the disabled list for the Cubs. He's been on it 3 separate times. The last in 1997, also with a right hamstring. That one was a strain. This one is a pull. Low, 3-2 to Mouton.
Boy, a pull or a pop. Mark Grace busted his rear end down the first base line.
The 3-2. Popped back and out of play again, and the fans race for the souvenir. Another afternoon game tomorrow. Scott Downs, Steve Woodard. More activity in the Cub bullpen. It's Daniel Garibay getting loose. Base is empty. Cubs hugging the lines. The 3-2 pitch struck him out. Aguilera blows through the order in the 11th inning. 1, 2, 3 and out. We go to the bottom half. Gutierrez, Sosa, and Andrews will try to win it. Final error by Mark Loretta allowed the Cubs to tie the game, but it's going to be a very costly game for the Cubs as Gracie pulled his left hamstring.
Well, I don't know when he did it. You think he pulled it after he?
You know, he was hustling down that line maybe when he hit the bag, but he didn't grab the leg until after he was past the first base bag. So now it shapes up as a real interesting 11th inning. 4 straight right-hand hitters against the left-hander De Los Santos. And it'll be Gutierrez to start things off. Ricky is 0 for 3 with a couple of walks and a run scored. Then Sosa. Let's win this thing and head home happy. And every time you face Milwaukee, you know it's going to be a bizarre, bizarre ball game. Upstairs, 2-0. We'll take a walk.
And good job laying off that high changeup.
The 2-0. 3-0. Again, the Milwaukee pen is silent. Juan Acevedo, the only other candidate down there. And he has not moved a muscle. Four straight, winning runs on. That man, a few more strands of gray in the beard after today's game. His ball club's defense gave us 5 unearned runs in the 9th. With the help of 4 walks, 2 errors, with 2 out. So here is Sosa. Sammy is singled. He's homered. He's flying to center, struck out, and walked. That was against Wickman. Over but low, ball 1.
And while De Los Santos is having trouble throwing strikes, Sammy does not have the take sign. If he gets a pitch in his window, he's going to drive it.
1 ball, no strikes. The stretch by the tall left-hander. And he's missed with 6 in a row. 2-0. And you see him shaking his head. The 2-0. Swung, and he had a good rip. But it's out of play. Cardinals trailing at San Francisco 4-3. That game now moves to the top of the 9th inning. All the other National League Baseball is later. One other final in. KC shuts out Detroit again. 6-0 the final score. Brewer outfield very deep. They want to cut off anything in the gaps. Gutierrez a decent lead at first. The 2-1. 2-2.
Sammy had a great at bat last time, laying off some breaking balls out of his zone, but De Los Santos buries one down and in. Great pitch by De Los Santos. Probably try that again. You know, as a young pitcher, sometimes you throw a nasty one and you try and make the next one even nastier, and that's when you hang one.
Cub fans hoping that's the case right here. Instead, the throw goes over to first. Garibay gets back up in the Cub bullpen. Shane Andrews is on deck. The 2-2. Way high. Ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Now we'll see if Don Baylor is a gambling man. You have one of the game's best defensive throwing catchers in Blanco. You have a man in the batter's box who strikes out a lot. But he is swinging a hot bat now. And you've got a man with good speed at first.
If they are going to do a hit and run here, Ricky's got to make sure that De Los Santos goes to home plate.
Not going. 3-2. Hit high in the air to left. Not deep enough, however. Mouton is under it. 1 man down. Back to first goes Gutierrez. And now here's Shane Andrews. Andrews was the hero the other day. And Sammy might have swung at ball 4.
And he just missed it. We talked about his hot zone. Up, sometimes he struggles, but at the same time, De Los Santos knows he got away with the pitch.
Well, the old adage, don't let the superstar beat you, but be careful. Shane Andrews has beaten Milwaukee with a big hit in this series. Seattle has just taken the lead over Texas 6-5 now, heading to the bottom of the 9th inning. The pitch to Shane is a ball high. Glenn Allen Hill waiting on deck.
And I like this matchup because against the lefty, everything's moving in to Shane Andrews. Fastballs in, breaking balls in. And boy, when Shane gets a pitch to the inner half, he can drive it.
1 ball, no strikes. High pop on the infield. Foul ground. Blanco is under. 2 men down. So it's up to Glenn Allen Hill if the Cubs are to take care of business here in the 11th inning. And folks, this one has the makings of a long game until we run out of pitchers and position players. Milwaukee's almost in that position now.
Well, this is about the time in the ball game where some starting pitchers are scrambling to put some spikes on. Been there before.
So Blanco out to talk about how to approach Glenn Allen Hill. Hill is 0 for 5 in the game and gets a reprieve, a chance to extend his hitting streak to 5 games now.
Glenn Allen Hill, the first time up in this ballgame, had trouble with the fastball up in the zone. And De Los Santos has gotten his last 2 outs, pitches up and out over the zone, out of the zone.
Ball 1. Well, he keeps falling behind. Got to make him pay for that largesse. Cubs 9 games under 500 at 13-22. Way high. Ball 2. Later on tonight, a large major league schedule. Florida hosts Atlanta. Pirates entertain the Mets. Cincinnati will face San Diego at Synergy, and the Phillies play in Montreal. Our next stop is Olympic Stadium Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The 2-0. 2 balls and a strike. AL schedule. Cleveland's at Minnesota tonight. Baltimore will try to snap a 12-game losing streak at Skydome. That's where the Toronto Blue Jays lie in wait. Tampa Bay's in New York, and the White Sox play the Red Sox. Low. That pops away. Gutierrez will move to second.
And Gutierrez anticipating something in the dirt. De Los Santos is having trouble throwing strikes, and Gutierrez with a great secondary lead gets a good jump. Blanco steady behind the plate, is not able to stop it in time.
So now all we need is a hit, and they'll take the bat out of Hill's hands, and he will be intentionally walked first and second And it'll be a lefty-lefty confrontation with Willie Green. A home run by Green in the fourth gave the Cubs a 3-1 lead. Come on, Willie, be patient. This guy's been walking the ballpark. And if he gets something to hit, rip it down a line somewhere. And let's go home happy. Up and in, ball one.
Well, that'll loosen you up. Willie Green looking out over the plate, and it almost nicked him.
There's nothing wrong with that pitch. That's old-fashioned baseball right there. And he came back with more heat. 1 ball, 1 strike.
De Los Santos turned it up a notch with a good high fastball.
A ball and a strike. The pitch. Way high. How about Texas? They scored 2 in the bottom of the 9th inning, and they've beaten Seattle 7-6. Mariners had the lead but couldn't hold it. Two balls and a strike. Way high, ball 3. Good at bat by Green. You've been in this spot on that mound. What are you thinking about now? 3 balls and a strike.
Boy, just trying to get something down in the zone. Willie Green, dangerous home run earlier in the game. And right now he's having trouble getting the ball down. So what you try and do is slow your body down a little bit to get that good extension down in the zone. And Willie Green right here looking for something middle in where he can drive it.
Showed bunt. The count runs full, 3-2. So Gutierrez and Hill will be running with 2 out.
And Willie Green taking all the way, trying to upset De Los Santos by squaring around.
3-2, runners go, swing, bouncing ball, right side base hit. Running to Ricky, Burnitz is up. It's not in time. Cubs win. Cubs win. Unbelievable. 9-8 the final score. The Cubs win it in extra innings as Willie Green hits an 88 hopper through the right side of the diamond, and Ricky Gutierrez gallops home with our 14th win of the year.
And what a great at-bat by Willie Green. Got something out over the plate and jerked it in the hole between first and second, and Ricky Gutierrez was on his horse. And Gene Glenn not hesitating, and Ricky Gutierrez scores easily.
So Rick Aguilera gets the win. De Los Santos takes the loss. The Cubs win their 2nd consecutive extra inning game. They go to 5-7 on the homestand and get a huge break in the 9th inning with 5 unearned runs. But it's a Pyrrhic victory as you see Mark Grace hobbling down the steps. He pulled his left hamstring and will be lost, I would imagine, for at least the next several days. Green knows it's a base hit. The only question is, will Ricky Gutierrez around third ahead of the Burnitz throw? There was no play at the plate, and the Cubs have beaten the 2nd best bullpen in the National League for the 2nd time in this series, outlasting Milwaukee by a score of 9-8. And Willie Green, with a fine day today, drove home RBIs number 6 and number 7.
And Ricky Gutierrez knew he had it all the way. And what a great job base running by Ricky Gutierrez in the 9th inning to tie this ball game up. And a walk-off piece for the Chicago Cubs.
So 9-8 is the final score. The Cubs win it in thrilling fashion. It was not an artistic effort by either bullpen, but it was a battle of survival, Gail Fisher. The Cubs win it 9-8. Rick Aguilera the winner. Valerio De Los Santos is the loser. And the Cubs will try to win this series outright by sending Scott Downs to the mound tomorrow. We'll send it back to you now, Gail.